Tuskegee fans, get ready. The hard-hitting action of Golden Tigers football is back as the winningest HBCU football program in the nation. All eyes are on the Golden Tigers in the 2024 football season with over a nation-leading 714 wins. 12 HBCU national championships, and 28 SIAC titles. The Golden Tigers are set to add another trophy to the crowded Tuskegee mantle with a championship run this season. As they do so, the Golden Tigers Sports Network is ready to bring you all the action from the gridiron, from every play to every touchdown. GTSN will be there with all of the excitement of Tuskegee football, and our coverage begins right now. Let's go inside the stadium. Here with the call, GTSN's Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter, and Double S, Simone Stanley.
And we are live on the Golden Tiger Sports Network, and we're coming to you live from Montgomery, Alabama, and we're coming to you on Thanksgiving Day, and that can mean only one thing. It is the Turkey Day Classic featuring the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee University and the Hornets of Alabama State University. Glad you could join us for our coverage on GTSN. Charles Ward alongside Mark Lassiter with the play call. And last, as we get into this ball game, our final of the season for Golden Tiger football, and it culminates with the Turkey Day Classic here in Montgomery. Always a great spectacle here in this city.
Charles, a famous poet, William Devon, once said, "You may not have a big fine Cadillac, gangsta white walls, TV antenna in the back, but you should just be thankful for what you got." So today, this afternoon in Montgomery, I'm thankful for the weather. So far, we had tornadoes last night come through. We've got a 65-degree day, maybe a slight breeze, but it's sunny. We're at one of the state-of-the-art facilities among teams that call themselves HBCUs here at Alabama State Hornets Stadium, which is one of the most modern and well-equipped facilities that anyone could visit. So looking forward to a great afternoon on Thanksgiving Day.
Wonderful day, as you referenced here. We're live in the Booster Displays pregame show as the Golden Tigers get set to meet the Hornets of Alabama State. Golden Tigers come into this ball game at an even 5-5 and 5-3 in the SIAC. Our competition already determined there in terms of where they finished in the season. They'll meet the Hornets, who are 6-5, and they finished 5-3 in the SWAC. They were predicted to finish first in the East, actually finished second. So, Mark, as we talk about this ball game, we talk about it from the standpoint of the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. They come into this contest after having finished the regular season 2 weeks ago, and they come into this situation against the Hornets of Alabama State with some question as to what the mood of the team is after having set out for a couple of weeks before this ball game.
Well, here's the thing, Charles. This season's been quite a marathon for Tuskegee. It started before Labor Day, and here we are on Thanksgiving. The difference between the two teams, I call it rust never sleeps. Alabama State has only had 4 days of recovery. Tuskegee, after homecoming, has had 18 days of rest to try to say, how do we deal with players having that much time off and preparing for a game against a SWAC team? It's going to be a real challenge this afternoon.
This will be an opponent from the SWAC. Second time they met a team from the SWAC that got played Grambling early on in the season. But as we continue to discuss this idea in the Booster Display pregame show about the 2 weeks off for Tuskegee, it also comes with some added asterisks associated with it in terms of Tuskegee right there near the end of the season, vying to perhaps get into the SIAC 1 and 2 championship ball game and not really able to overcome that. And then you take homecoming against Miles College, which was one of the factors in terms of whether they would get into that scenario, but also the added factor that was homecoming, then we had that tragic event to take place on campus, that there's a lot of psychology going into this 2-week layoff for Tuskegee in this ballgame.
We had a brief moment to talk to Coach Aaron James before the game at the hotel. Tuskegee went through a walkthrough this morning, Charles, at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm sure that Coach Aaron James, in the long 18-day absence of football, has had time to say, okay, who are my football players? Who are the guys that are here to play no matter what? And who are the players that are just here going through the motions? And so during this off week, it'll be interesting. It's almost like a Super Bowl week, where you have that first week, which is kind of a lull.
Sure.
And that second week, you have to ramp up all over again after players have sometimes already gone on vacation.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly who shows up as it relates to players on that roster for Tuskegee. We'll step out for our first time out here in the Booster Displays pregame show. We'll come back. We'll get you set for football action, talk about some of the keys to the game, and get you going here in the 100th Turkey Day Classic. We're live from ASU Football Stadium on the campus of Albany, Alabama State University, getting set for Golden Tiger football on GTSN.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes.
And welcome back, everybody. We are live in the Booster Displays pregame show from ASU Football Stadium on the campus of Alabama State University, getting set for the 100th playing of the Turkey Day Classic, Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State. Mark, as we're talking about this ball game getting set for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, let's talk a little bit about our Wind Creek Casino Montgomery keys to the game.
So I'm not one to leak information or name names, but when you hang around the hotel lobby, you can learn a lot from coaches. And talking to a few of the coaches from Tuskegee last night, Charles, they felt that they had an advantage on offense against this team from Alabama State. Last week, Alabama State outgained Prairie View 230 to 197 yards, and they had an advantage on the ground, 159 to 75. Now, here's something to look for. If Tuskegee can run the football on Alabama State, they should be in good position to be very competitive in the second half.
It'll be really interesting to see the dynamic of what you just talked about, because you entertain them a little bit more. You're talking about a Golden Tiger offense that on the ground against Miles College 2 weeks ago only ran for 17 yards as a total. If they believe that they can run against this SWAC team this afternoon, obviously the coaches saw something in that scheme for the Hornets that they like.
Well, let's keep it in perspective. Miles College is one of the elite teams in the SIAC, if not all of HBCU football. They came with a very surprising package on defense. So to your point, the Tuskegee coaches must think they have spotted something of weakness in that Alabama State D.
Interestingly enough, because that Hornet defense is #1 in the SWAC overall, and against the run, they are #1 in the SWAC. So that's going to be an interesting challenge there for the Golden Tigers if they can indeed take control of this ball game on the ground against the Hornets. Players are already down at midfield. The toss has been conducted with just a few moments away from this kickoff between the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State University in the 2024 Turkey Day Classic from Montgomery, Alabama. Glad you could join us on GTSN for our coverage. Mark referenced it a few moments ago. It's really some dark clouds as we rolled in here yesterday, and tornado warnings last night, but it has cleared out, and it's a gorgeous day here in Montgomery.
One of the keys that coaches speaking about Tuskegee may think that they had spotted something because it was a very low-scoring game here 5 days ago against Prairie View. That final was 9-6. And so they may be thinking that the Alabama State offense is simply running out of gas at some point.
As you referenced, it's a SWAC team that they're playing in the Hornets of Alabama State. State did actually play Miles early in the season and won that ball game. So they swept in terms of SIAC versus SWAC over the course of the season. But you never know when this one hits the table with the Golden Tigers at Turkey Day Classic.
And there's one other X factor, Charles. The fact that we're playing on Thanksgiving Day. If you have underclass players, they may be feeling a little bit homesick. I always think about what does a player do after the game is over. If you're a Thanksgiving Day, you get bused back to campus. If you don't have some running buddies that you can hang out with and that will take you home in the vicinity, do you go back to the dorm? How do you celebrate Thanksgiving after the game is over?
That's a good call. Interesting to see what the team maybe has in store for them when they get back to campus. If there's some kind of celebration there amongst them before they break up. But your reference, you got ants in your pants. If you're here this long, and Thanksgiving is that part of the year where you definitely want to be with family. So it just wears even more. Toss is conducted. The Golden Tigers of Tuskegee will actually kick the football away to get things started here in the Classic. It'll be Larkin Ryans to kick it to Alabama State.
What Tuskegee wants, Charles, is to get off to a quick start. We'll know where they are in terms of their effort very early.
Ryans set to get us going. 6th leading scorer in the SIAC. Kicking duties here to get things going on Thanksgiving Day.
ESPNU is right down the hall from us, so what we say is watch their picture, turn down their sound, and listen to Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Indeed. Jai Harrell will stand deep for the Hornets of Alabama State, set to return this kick if Tuskegee kicks it his way. Also standing deep is Brandon Gilliam. And Ryans, as the ball blows off the tee, will have another crack at it here to get things started.
We did have wind as a part of this forecast. Looking at the banners on top of the goalposts, they are flowing from left to right. And so it'll be at the back of Ryans kicking off.
Now he's set and gets us underway here at the Tuskegee Classic. That one into the end zone, over the shoulder catch there by Harold. And he'll stay put in the end zone. So the Hornets will come out on their first possession with the football game. Take a look at the defense of the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. In our TNT Fireworks starting lineups for Tuskegee defensively, the Messiah Wells, Terrence Mays, Jarrell Colbert, and Anthony Scott up front. For the Golden Tigers at the corner, Michael King and Aiden Glover, both from Tuskegee. Linebacking core, Michael Moore, Charles Davis Jr., and Noah Holton holding on things there. And free safety is Rossi Grimes and Michael McGuire is a strong safety for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Hornets, Kareem Key at quarterback for them. Duke Quincy in the backfield, the running back. Those are the two that are kind of the engine for the Hornets of Alabama State. First snap from scrimmage. A man in motion and on the ball fake. They're going up top on a crossing route. Got success already in the air up to the 40-yard line on a catch there. The catch was made downfield that time by Asa Gregg, the sophomore from Waldorf, Maryland, for the Hornets.
Michael King doesn't make that tackle for Tuskegee. It's clear sailing.
So they go quickly to the line again. Key. This time they're going to keep it on the ground, looking for some space. Down, can't find any, trying to get it out to the right side, but a flag coming in way at the back of that play. Take a look at that one as Dave Tuskegee stringing that one out toward the sideline.
I'm going to give credit to the back judge for throwing that flag about 20 yards in the air.
Nice toss,
that was all the way from the 35-yard line down into the 40 of Nevada State.
A.J. Gates Jr. on that carry for the Hornets of Alabama State.
And a penalty called against Tuskegee on the interior.
Called that one against Terrence Mays for the Golden Tigers. Tuskegee coming into this ball game as a team finished second in the SIAC in penalties with only 66 during the course of the regular season. It's Keys again. Ball fake. They keep it on the ground. Left side. Trying to squeeze through there is Gates again.
One of the early indicators, Charles, about Tuskegee's defense especially, we will be able to recognize two things: effort and patience. How disciplined they are going to be based on how many penalties they have called against them early.
First possession of the ball game on the ground. Hornets trying to work it to the corner. Slipping on the surface that time. It's Gates. Just never really could get his feet up under him. And he'll come out of the ball game after that carry left side. He kind of got tied up in the turf a little bit on that carry to the benefit of the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. That makes it 3rd down and 10 now for the Hornets of Alabama State.
Also going to be paying attention to the body language of the defenders for Tuskegee. I want to see how they are moving around in between plays. Are they animated or are they sluggish?
3rd down coming here for the Hornets. Keys in shotgun. He'll take a straight drop. Looking upfield, got a man wide open there at the 15. That's going to be an easy push all the way into the end zone for the Hornets of Alabama State. They score on an easy pitch down the middle of the field for a touchdown.
But that was a breakdown in the Tuskegee secondary. as a receiver for Alabama State, had 10 yards of cushion to make that catch and just glide into the end zone. Again, you talk about the idea of focus in this in-season game for Tuskegee. That was just a simple breakdown.
No question about it. Wide open for an easy touchdown that time for the Hornets of Alabama State. Mr. Rico Dozier with that catch. And the kick afterwards is good. And the Hornets of Alabama State strike first here on their first possession of this Turkey Day Classic. They drive at the length of the field and lead now 7-0 over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Golden Tigers with the football after we return here on GTSN.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mark Brown, class of 1986, president of Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines protects you and your family from disease. Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait, vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN.
Back live here inside the ASU football stadium on the campus of Alabama State University. Mark, that first possession by the Hornets, they made it look easy. And Tuskegee really just giving up a really easy touchdown right in the middle of the field on the pass.
Charles, one thing you do know is that you don't want to be no jive turkey on Thanksgiving. And Tuskegee's defense is really going to have to tighten up mentally. It wasn't a physical error. That was just a coverage breakdown. And that was the least wanted thing that they had wanted coming in is to have the early part of this ball game get out of control.
Indeed, you're right. Reflect on that. It was kind of a 3rd and long or a 3rd and 10, and the coverage just not there for the Golden Tigers on that pass up the middle. It was Dozier on the receiving end of the pass from Keys for the touchdown for Alabama State. They take a 7-0 lead. So the Tuskegee offense now will be coming out and see if they can answer that early here inside the ASU football stadium. For the Golden Tigers. Take a look at that starting lineup offensively before they make it to the field. Up front, it'll be the tight end, Johnny Gilbert. Left tackle is Terrence Jordan. Left guard, Sean Stithen. At the center position, LeBron Merriweather. On the other side of the offensive right guard is Brandon Arrington. And the right tackle, the second team all-conference, Elliot Howell. Receiving core for the Golden Tigers, Quavo Beckford, the redshirt senior. Justin Stitt, the sophomore, and Reggie Brickman, the redshirt senior for the Golden Tigers. It'll be Raekwon Bill at quarterback, and in the backfield. Told the start will go to Johnny Morris for the Golden Tigers this afternoon.
So since this is a televised game, we're going to have some unusually long timeouts as both teams are still on the sidelines while our competitors get their advertising dollars taken care of. But again, for Tuskegee, who will be receiving this kickoff, they've got to be thinking, okay, you've scored on us, and we have got to answer early. The last thing you want to have if you're Tuskegee on offense is a quick 3-and-out.
Yeah, Justin Stitt working his way back near the 6-yard line to receive the kick. Got a lot of bounce in this step. 2 weeks away from the football field, showing he's excited about this football game on Turkey Day.
Well, I'm sure that Coach Aaron James of Tuskegee is taking copious notes on the effort of his players in this ball game. He wants to determine who do I have that I can move forward with next season.
Gilliam, SWAC Special Teams Player of the Week last week to kick it away. Squib kick by Gilliam. This one on the ground and bounces out of bounds near the 8-yard line. Trying to keep it away from the return men for Tuskegee. Gilliam on that kick.
It's a strange kick, Charles, because it was a line drive, but it was aimed to the near sideline, went out of bounds right at about the 12 or 13. Usually, if you're going to kick it on the line like that, you want to kick it down the middle, make it more difficult to handle. But if you kick that ball to the sidelines, there was a greater chance of it simply going out of bounds, which it did.
Indeed, it did. And that'll give the Golden Tigers good field position to start their first drive of the football game from their own 35-yard line. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody watching on listening on GTSN on this Thanksgiving Day. Glad you're spending part of it with us as we cover Tuskegee football against the Hornets of Alabama State. We're live in the 100th Turkey Day Classic here in Montgomery. Bill, he'll line up shotgun. Bring Gilbert in tighter at the line on the ground. Morris looking for some space left side, hit initially, but Johnny spins out of that. Still on his feet, second wave of the defense. Slides back to the inside, and how about Johnny Morris with his first carry? Almost up the midfield. That's a Vibes Restaurant first down for Tuskegee.
Tremendous individual effort by Morris, who you thought was trapped back at the 40-yard line. Spun out of one tackle, cut it back to the middle of the field, broke another, and early first down for Tuskegee.
Near midfield. On the ground, they'll try it again. Morris left side, second wave of the defense, this time caught by his jersey as he runs past the 50 near the 48.
Maybe the Tuskegee coaches knew something after all, but starting this running game early, having success on that first play, decent on that second play. This is going to be about a 2nd and 6 coming up.
Golden Tigers averaging 142 yards per game on the ground. A couple of good runs here by Johnny Morris to get things started. Morris on the season, 286 total yards, missed several games at the beginning of the season. Second down now for TU at the 48 of the Hornets. Bill with his first pass opportunity. He'll shoot it upfield in the double coverage downfield and overshoots everybody. Trying to get it downfield to Brickman. Brickman had space on his initial defender, but covering on the backside, Hornets had help.
It's funny that Bill was going into double coverage. Brickman was actually open about the 10-yard line. Ball was overthrown in a safe space. If it was a little bit underthrown, that thing could have been intercepted easily. But Bill, a little risky on that deep throw downfield.
Bill in that ball game against the Bears and Miles College to close the season in SIAC play, 14 of 22. They had 2 interceptions in that ball game. Does not want that to carry over here into this Turkey Day Classic. Third down, Bill in the pocket underneath this time. Crossing route, good job there. Catch by Garmin. And Garmin about a yard shy of the first down marker for Tuskegee.
Give credit to the cornerback, James Burgess from Alabama State, making a saving tackle, bringing up what appears to be a 4th and short. Tuskegee has an option to think about going for it. It appears they're going to go ahead and punt it away. I thought for a second that at this point in the season, you got a 4th and 1. What do you really have to lose?
Well, that may not be all out the window yet. Remember now, Larkin, he has run for a first down a couple of times this season. One for 23 yards when he caught the defense off guard.
So this is about a 4th and 2. Okay, I'll change that a bit. 4th and 2 is a little different.
Ryan showing punt for Tuskegee. And he will kick it away off the side of his foot. Trying to go for the corner on the opposite side of the field. Tuskegee going left to right in this first period. He was trying to kick it to the left side, trying to go to the corner, but did not get all of it. And scoots out of bounds near the 25. So not much difference there. If they had run on that 4th down opportunity there, only about a 10-yard spread in terms of the punt itself, where they would have been if they missed it on 4th.
I'm just curious why Garmin was going to the far side of the field if he's going out of bounds as opposed to coming to the near sideline, which is a easier kick to spot, if you will.
Yeah, he was definitely going to the left side as a right-foot kicker. So second opportunity here for the Hornets of Alabama State. They'll keep it on the ground, this time on the carry. It's Kinsey, the senior running back, most of their carries on the season for the Hornets. 666 yards for him total on the season for the Hornets of Alabama State.
Nice surge by Tuskegee up front, led by Caleb Harrell, a name we haven't called a lot this season. We may see some new faces this afternoon.
Yeah, we talked about that early on. Possibility of that for sure. Kinsey on that carry. He had 93 yards in the ball game against Prairie View A&M last weekend. Ball fake this time. Keys rolls, got a man circling right outside the defense, and another easy touchdown here for the Hornets of Alabama State. Tuskegee just fooled on that play on the rollout, and just an easy pitch and touchdown there for the Hornets.
The thing that's troubling about that play, Charles, is something that we haven't seen all season from Tuskegee. That's just the second consecutive breakdown in communication in the defensive backfield for the Golden Tigers.
Robert McMinn, Jr. from Hollywood, Florida. Hollywood, California play there, just so wide open. You don't see that in the movies.
It wasn't anything fancy. It was
Sure.
just a simple pattern out of the backfield, a circle route that no one had responsibility for.
To see that developing up from up here, he was wide open as Gilliam knocks the point through on the extra point attempt. And the Hornets here off to an early 14-0 lead over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And with 10:02 remaining in this first quarter to play here, we're live from the Turkey Day Classic at Alabama State University. We'll take a time out here, see if the Golden Tigers can't regroup and get some offense going here on GTSN.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Keep up with Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network with games and other content carried on the Tuskegee Athletics YouTube channel throughout the season.
Back live here at ASU Football Stadium, 100th Turkey Day Classic, Mark. And right now, things for the Golden Tigers not starting out the way they want to.
Well, it's been a very uncharacteristic start by the Golden Tigers. We haven't seen this all season. Let's keep this in perspective. Tuskegee's defense has played with exceptional effort. They've been very crisp tacklers. They've been good communicators all throughout this season. They may have allowed some points here and there, but we have not seen anything like the 2 touchdowns scored by Alabama State on 2 broken coverages.
Hornets of Alabama State, first possession, 4 plays, 75 yards, 1 minute and 53 seconds after we capped off with a pass from Keys to Dozier for the touchdown. And they come back on their second possession even quicker than the first with just 48 seconds elapsed on that drive, only 2 plays covering 75 yards. He got an easy pitch from Keys to McMinn, and he was able to run it for the touchdown for the Hornets of Alabama State.
So as a former athlete, you know the difference between physical breakdowns and mental errors. What these last 2 touchdowns have been for Tuskegee are simple mental errors, and you have to think that maybe a combination of things. The exceptionally long season, the fact that it is a holiday break game, the fact that they're not playing for anything, quote unquote. There's no title on the line. So what you wind up playing for as a player, Charles, is you're playing for pride. And so coaches will be taking notes. Who are the players that I can trust, no matter what the conditions are, to play with pride?
Now that's going to be the issue for the Golden Tigers this afternoon if they can rise to that challenge and hit that benchmark you're talking about. Already down 14-0.
Well, and that measure may not be on the scoreboard.
Sure, absolutely.
That measure is going to be on individual report cards.
Sure, I agree. And this is the time we were talking to Coach James outside our hotel. He was saying after this ball game, it's recruiting time for him and the rest of the coaching staff. But it's also internal reviews as well in terms of personnel. As Gillum set to kick it, they're going to try the onside kick here. And I'm not sure if I think they got it, they required 10. The Hornets are saying that they have the football. They got it right there in midfield. And the officials look like they agree with that assessment that the football belongs to the Hornets of Alabama State.
You see some Tuskegee players right at the 50-yard line trying to signal that the ball didn't cover the appropriate distance. But it appears, to your point, that the officials are, in fact, giving the ball to Alabama State, who simply caught Tuskegee off guard, off 2 scores, and saying, okay, it's Thanksgiving. We're going to go for some leftovers now.
Absolutely. Reynolds was arguing that for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. But that offside kick by the Hornets caught the Golden Tigers by surprise. And they will have the football once again. They've already scored on their first 2 possessions. As you referenced, Mark, checking the refrigerator now, see if there's anything left over from Thanksgiving vittles. From their own 49-yard line, Keys sends a man in motion. He'll slide and pass it out that way, working toward the sideline with some space over there. Now back to the inside. Finally wrestled down near the 42-yard line on the Tuskegee end of the field. It's Dozier again.
First player that had a shot was Rossi Grimes, right at about the 45-yard line. Grimes simply overran the play, and Alabama State, on the run after catch, picks up another first down.
At the Tuskegee 42, Hornets going right to left on your listening device here in this first period of play. 9 minutes, 28 seconds remains. It's Alabama State with a 14-0 lead and the football. Second down on about a yard. They keep it on the ground, left side turned in over end, but after getting the first down run for the Hornets of Alabama State, that was Marcus Harris second with the carry. That's your sophomore.
Speaking of battle errors, it might have been that turkey that got to me. That was a 2nd and 1. I called it first down. That's my bad.
Well, you can call it that now. That's okay. Shake it off. That tryptophan's tough, brother. You got to fight through it.
Well, that line was looking awfully tasty before the game. I had to sample some of the pregame meal.
1st and 10, rolling right side is Keys. Now they're looking back to the left side to set something up there, but hog-tied there at the time, at the point of the catch. Messiah Wells, the junior for Tuskegee, reading that play and making a stop behind the line.
Give Messiah Wells on the read. Give him a gold star. He was in the backfield, diagnosed the play perfectly, and made the tackle.
Yeah, good job by him and to hang on there. Got the player down behind the line. So the Hornets, for the first time in this football game, backpedal. 8:17 remains first period.
According to the mark, that's about an 8-yard loss. So this brings up a 2nd and long already for Alabama State. Be interesting to see what they call. They've got receivers both sides.
Snap, and Keys keeps it. Looks upfield, now checks off, slides to his right. Still trying to buy some time at the sideline. Shoots it over the head of the intended receiver into the Tuskegee bench on the far side.
One player for Tuskegee. Let's give a second gold star to Malik Moore, who's been named All-SIAC. The effort that he made in pursuit of the quarterback was greater than the 2 other Tuskegee defenders, a little bit larger players, but Malik Moore was closing in on a sack on that last play.
Indeed, you're right. And you reference him making all conference in the SIAC. That comes with the fact that teams were so aware about him and just running absolutely away from him during the course of the season. On that miscue, Hornets still pressed down on a 3rd and 20. Keys, straight snap. Looks upfield, fires on a crossing route, overshoots the intended receiver down near the 25-yard line. So the Tuskegee defense here able to hold tight as the Hornets got it on an onside kick, and the Golden Tigers forced them to punt the football back.
He was trying to hit Robert McGinn of Alabama State, who was actually breaking open by a couple of yards right at the 25-yard line. Ball was just overthrown. Give credit to Tuskegee, however, Charles. They had decent coverage on that last pass.
Yes, I do. You're absolutely right. The coverage looked good. And tuck on now to punt it away for the Hornets of Alabama State. And Justin Stith stands near the 17.
Didn't know what to expect crowd-wise coming into this game, but it's a respectable crowd here at Alabama State Stadium.
Line drive kick, fair catch called for by Justin, but now he'll pick it up as it hit the surface. Short side of the field, and Stiff chased out of bounds near the 20-yard line, and that's where Tuskegee will have the football. Yeah, you don't quite know what to expect because the tradition with the Turkey Day Classic was kind of broken there for a couple of years ago when they stopped actually playing the Turkey Day Classic. But once they revived it and got it back going, it's back on people's radar again. Crowd here indicative of what this means to the Montgomery community.
Also, the forecast was not favorable. The initial forecast predicted rain this afternoon. Fortunately, that cleared out. We had a sunny day.
The Tigers looking for a little bit of sun here in Montgomery, trailing 14-0. Beal and the offense start from their own 20-yard line. Football at the right hash mark. They go left to right. Bill on the snap gives it to Morris. Morris, right side of the defense, on the left side of that defense, runs for about 3 behind this offensive line of Arrington and Elliott. Howell.
Arrington threw a nice block out of the backfield. He's wearing number 41 right at the snap. crossed right behind the guard, got that last block and a productive play. Not much yardage, but it was well schemed for Tuskegee.
Give him 3 on the pickup by Morris. At the 22-yard line, Bill lines up in the pistol. Bregman in motion. Left side, ball fake. Bill feels the pressure. Slide with the pass drop there by John. Trying to grab that throw. Had a little bit of space there, but looked upfield before he secured the football.
So you mentioned Bregman in motion. By the time Bill got in trouble, Bregman was breaking away from the play. As a receiver on the far side, his job is to get back in the sight of his quarterback, come back to the middle, and give his quarterback a target to throw to.
Yeah, had a little bit of pressure that time, Bill did. They forced him up into the pocket and to his right. He is a right-handed thrower, but was trying to toss it back to the middle.
It's a tough throw.
Sure. Moore not able to hang on to it. That'll make it 3rd and 7 now for TU. Snap to Bill. They're coming at him. A crossing route again. Bregman can't hang on to it near the 28-yard line. Led him just a little bit far, but the defense by the Hornets right on top of that as well.
Bregman trying to work in front of Caleb Offord, the cornerback for Alabama State, who had coverage right behind the linebackers. He's almost in the box. Very shallow coverage. Give him credit for getting a hand in on that ball.
So the Golden will be forced to punt the football away. Jai Harrell will stand near the 38-yard line as Larkin Ryan's getting set to punt it for Tuskegee. Ryan's averaging right at 35 yards per punt for Tuskegee on the season. Finished 9th in the SIAC in punting. Needs to get off a good one here. And he does. Floater there by Ryan. No fair catch called for. Squeezed at the 40. Just up the right side and down at the sideline now. That's Harold for the Hornets of Alabama State. And Harold runs it all the way to the 25 on the other end of the football field.
The punter, Ryans, for Tuskegee was one of 2 final players in between the return man and the end zone. Give credit to Ryans for getting a hat in on a tackle, but as it stands, there was an early breakdown by that coverage team. Alabama State takes advantage, and they're going to set up shop almost in the red zone.
Yeah, right at the 22-yard line. The punt by Ryans wasn't bad. It's just the return by the Hornets, they were able to set it right side.
And let's go back to that word again, Charles. Effort. Special teams, if there's any of the 3 phases of the game that requires effort, it's special teams.
So the Hornets now in striking distance once again. They lead 14-0. They go on the ground. That's Kinsey turning to the right side of the line for the Hornets, trying to find some space, but the Golden Tiger was able to string him toward the sideline. It may have gotten 2 on that, down to the 20.
So Kinsey is one of Alabama State's 2 feature backs. Last week he had 93 yards. He averaged 4.4 per carry, so he's a man to watch. The other running back they have is not bad as well, averaging 3 yards per carry.
Yeah, they got kind of a dual system there at Alabama State as well. After the carry by Kinsey, a pickup of 3, it's 3rd down, 2nd down, and 7 now with 5:52 remaining in this first period. Got another man wide open on the play down the sideline, another easy touchdown. Just the ball fake at the line of scrimmage, and then the secondary of Tuskegee just withering there in terms of any coverage downfield.
Linebacker Javion Miller simply turned to the bench, slammed both hands on his thigh pads as if to give the body language to the sideline. What are we doing out here? That was the 3rd mental breakdown by the Tuskegee defense in the red zone.
That time it was the redshirt freshman Eric Horn, the beneficiary of an open pass down the field and no defensive coverage within 10 yards of him on a good ball fake by Keys, but it really wasn't that great of a ball fake. Just the receiver was so wide open with real estate right there in front of him.
Well, and as you mentioned, Charles, it was a mirror of the previous touchdown pass, which is a simple circle route beyond the line of scrimmage, nothing fancy, to the sideline. And the breakdown is somewhere in the communication between the Tuskegee linebackers and the defensive corners on that side.
Yeah, we'll have to really take a look at it. Our coaching crew from Tuskegee is right here to our left of our box. And they're seeing this thing unfold in real time down on the field, just how much space is available to the receivers for the Hornets of Alabama State.
Well, you know, when you're on the press level, as we are, Charles, we're separated by glass partitions. I do not want to look towards the Tuskegee defensive coach's box because sometimes coaches are known to get a little violent on breakdowns like that. We've had not just one, not two, but we've seen 3 breakdowns on defense.
Indeed, we have. Before that point attempt by the Hornets on the PAT after touchdown, timeout was taken with 5:45 remaining in the first period. And Tuskegee trailing it to the Hornets of Alabama State 20-0 early in this football.
And I just want to keep this in perspective for our listening audience. This is a Tuskegee defense that we have seen played with extra effort all season. We haven't seen these types of breakdowns ever, let alone to see 3 in 1 quarter. We are still 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first quarter, with Alabama State taking this 3-touchdown lead. So the challenge now is not just for Tuskegee to come out and show some effort. They've got to show some respectability.
Sure. Right now, 4 possessions by the Hornets, and they've scored on 3 of those, getting set for the point after their 3rd touchdown here in this first period of play. Gilliam set to try the point after. Everything's good on the snap. Hole in the kick is knocked through by Gilliam as well for the Hornets of Alabama State. So they take a 21-0 lead after their second drive of 48 seconds in this first period of play. This one, 2 plays, 22 yards in 48 seconds. And the result culminates in a touchdown pass to Eric Horn from quarterback Kareem Keys. So we'll take a break here on the Golden Tigers Sports Network. Tuskegee trailing at 21-0 to the Hornets of Alabama State.
Keep up with Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network with games and other content carried on the Tuskegee Athletics YouTube channel throughout the season.
Back live at ASU Stadium on the campus of Alabama State University, Golden Tiger Sports Network, Charles Martin, Mark Lassiter, and the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Last and the challenge for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, as you referenced before the timeout, is now you get into that territory. A couple more scores here. You got to come out of this thing with some level of internal respect.
Well, as it stands, I'm looking at the Tuskegee sideline. And I'm looking at players that are seated on the bench behind those that are standing. There's not a lot of conversation or communication going on. You just see players in their groups just sitting to themselves almost. You even see the special teams players, the 3 special teams players to our far right are just sitting there on the bench by themselves. So there's this air of malaise on the Tigers sideline that they're going to have to really do something to correct. The challenge is it's so early in this ballgame. I wouldn't be surprised that if this tempo continues, I wouldn't be surprised if the officials went to the coaches and say, okay, in the second half, we're going to play 10-minute quarters.
Definitely kind of minimize any calls that are just suspect or even not even close to try to keep things moving. Yeah, you're describing the atmosphere on the Tuskegee sideline perfectly. It's kind of a lit type look over there in terms of the players. Got to get something on this football field to get this entire team back into focus. You'll have it on the kick from Gilliam, trying to get things started defensively. Tuskegee just not finding an answer early on to the Hornets of Alabama State on their first 4 drives, 3 of them resulting in touchdowns. See if special teams can be a lift for the Golden Tigers. Stiff stands at the 10. And they'll do a line drive kick again. This one bounces on the surface. It'll come to Justin near the 20. He'll work the short side of the field. Now reversing field's got a wall if he can get there to it. Still trying to get to the outside of it. And the Hornets string him out toward the sideline and pull him down near the 32, but not a bad return.
Not a bad return, but let's keep this all in perspective, Charles. Tuskegee, an SIAC school, is playing a school from a larger conference, the SWAC, Southwestern Athletic Conference, which is known for the high quality of play. They may just have caught Alabama State in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They are playing a Hornets team that has won the SWAC championship 3 times, 1991, 2004, and 2010 most recent. And in 1991, they were the HBCU champions of the entire nation. So a program that's steeped in winning tradition. 1st and 10 on the ground now. This time the carry by Chase Sellers. Sellers bounced out by Chase left side. Got it past the 40. They'll mark him out near the 43-yard line for the Golden Tigers. We go down to 5:20 left first period. So far, all the Hornets of Alabama State, they lead at 21-0. Tuskegee trying to get something going here offensively. From the 43, Bill slides. Gabriel Shell tied it to the line, fires back to the opposite side. Bregman with the catch, dances his way toward the sideline. Bregman with enough for the Vibes Restaurant first down as he catches it near the 48-yard line for Tuskegee.
You know what I look for? It's not the effort during the play. I look for effort in between plays. I'm watching number 73, Jordan Fry, the freshman offensive lineman for Tuskegee, jog back to the huddle, get back to his position. Fry gets a gold star just for being animated in between plays.
Well, you've been saying all season long, mantra has been don't watch the ball. In that case, you're watching what's happening after that play. And on keeper this time is Chase Sellers, left side, and Sellers past 45, down near the 41.
Give our third gold star to Sellers. Extra effort picking up that first down into Alabama State territory. Unfortunately, Sellers is limping off the field. Seems to be favoring that right leg, and that's a bad sign for a running back who's really given Tuskegee a lot of rugged yards this season.
Indeed, he was injured for a part of it. And they go with that Wildcat again. This time, Morris going to line up back there. And on motion, he'll keep it. Johnny attacks the defense left side, ran into that pack. And the scrum takes place now on the Golden Tiger offensive line, pushing Johnny down near the 42-yard line. An additional 3 yards.
You know, it's almost like the Tuskegee offensive line, even though they may not appear to be talking to one another, they may have just decided we're going to have to take control of this game. They're coming off the ball with a little bit more intensity, and as a result, they're picking up decent yardage.
Yeah, you can feel a fire with that line up front. Good job so far on this possession. Morris lines up in that Wildcat again. 2nd down and 6 for TU from the 38-yard line of the Hornets. Now they'll try right side. Morris looking for room at the corner. He'll turn the corner for Tuskegee. Morris chased out of bounds near the 25-yard line after the Vibes Restaurant first down carry.
Arrington with the block on the corner, strong Morris. Arrington got a pancake on the near sideline, right about the 35-yard line. You gotta love that, because anytime you get a player blocking in space one-on-one like that, leads to a big play. Tuskegee another first down.
I'm checking your bag, see what gold stars you have. You gotta give him one on that play. 1st and 10, down just outside the red zone. Golden Tigers now at the 23-yard line of Alabama State. Morris still in there. This time they're gonna go right side. He'll look for a block. Got one now. Johnny works out toward the sideline, worked his way inside of the 15, down near the 12-yard line for Tuskegee. They are sending a man in motion, and across the line is Mulba. He showed a fake on the left side, but it's all Morris on the inside.
Great call on Mulba. At the snap count, he was in motion, cut back over center, through the block, and sprung the running back right up the middle.
1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. This time, it's Mulba. He'll take a turn. Zena works it left side, packed near the 10-yard line. And that's where they run him down at about the 11.
I see how it works. They say to Mulba, you throw a good block, we'll get you the ball on the next play. Sure. I like that. Nice touch.
Real easy. Right. Immediate reward, right?
Like that. And players will respect being rewarded.
Zena runs it for about 2 on that carry. This time, Bill will come back onto the playing surface at quarterback. So 2nd down and 8. A minute 24 left first period. Tuskegee trying to get his first score of the ball game, trailing 21-0. Bill will settle under center this trip. Pregame in motion. They'll give it to him, trying to find space right side. Pregame trucked up behind the line of scrimmage. Correction on that. Gabriel Garment on that carry for Tuskegee. As he reverses back to the right side, Garment not able to turn the corner for TU.
Trying to get a block from his tight end on the near sideline. Just couldn't carve enough space. This brings up a big play for Tuskegee in the red zone, Alabama State.
3rd down and 10. They can get the first down at the 3-yard line before touchdown. But a big 3rd down play here. You'd rather have 6 than considering a field goal. Bill, he'll line up in the pistol with Mulva joining him in the backfield. Now Pierce to the sideline. And the Golden Tigers forced to take a timeout here. Sure where they were on the play clock with regard to time running out, or just indecisive about that 3rd down play.
Whatever it was, Coach Aaron James didn't like what he saw from the Alabama State defense. They had that second call. You've seen from time to time when Tuskegee gets in the line of scrimmage, they appear to be ready to snap the ball. Quarterback will come out, look to the sideline for that second look. This time on the second look, Aaron James said, we're going to take this time out instead.
Yeah, you could just see it from the body language of Raquan Bill, the quarterback. When he looked over to the sideline, you saw him with his right hand kind of pointing back toward the line of scrimmage, just looking at it and saying, hey, coach, something's not quite right up here. We probably need this timeout.
Wise call. Now, the question is, are we in 2-down territory?
Get out of my head. I was just sitting there thinking the same thing. You really want that 6, no doubt about it. You got to get it to the 3 to get a fresh set of downs. Trading 21-0. Bill and the offense back out. Tight slot at the bottom of the screen, sitting at the top. Mulva joins Bill in the backfield. Hornets got the front line packed. Front there. Bill in the pocket. Pressure. Throws it underneath. That one bobbled and dropped. Had a man out there in space. It was Kenneth K.J. Law in that area where the catch will at least get enough for a first down. But Law not even able to corral that football on that 3rd down play.
And as Law watched the catch, he turns back to Bill with his arms out as if to complain to Bill. I don't know what his complaint is.
Throw it a little tighter. I don't know where. Yeah, that was just him trying to grab it and go upfield before he actually had it. So Larkin will come on now. This will be a 30-yard effort by him to give Tuskegee at least a score in this first period of play. Snap and the kick by Larkin. Line drive by him, and he knocks it through for Tuskegee. So good fortunes in Larkin, the Golden Tigers trust, and he answers there from 30 yards out to give TU its first points of this football game. It comes with 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. Alabama State with a 21-3 lead now over the Golden Tigers. Back with more football on GTSN. Is that 3 drops already? I think it's 3. Wall, if you can get to the corner, the slides, dances to the sideline, not able to keep his balance and running out of bounds. That's probably the only thing that's taking Tuskegee first. They had exactly what they wanted in the defensive set for Tuskegee.
That mistake getting a little fancy off the bobble on a ball that I thought might have been down in the end zone, decided to bring it out and then run a reverse off of it.
Sure. That was the design play, so being in the end zone or not, Harold came out with it to do that very thing.
That's one of those plays right off the bubble. You just take what you can get. How do you go back to trying to get a little fancy off of that? But again, to your point, they caught Tuskegee a little bit off guard on the corner.
Football at the 20-yard line. We're live from the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State University from ASU Football Stadium.
Speaking of turkey, I just had another bite of turkey, so I get a little sluggish. Just caught me in the elbow.
No gold stars for you. On the ground, they go left side, second wave of the defense. Another big run here by the Hornets. Just dancing his way down the football field is A.J. Gates Jr. for Alabama State. Runs it all the way down to the 34-yard line on the Tuskegee football field. Nothing fancy about that play by the Hornets there. Mark, they just went left side. Behind the offensive line there, it's got a gaping hole.
Got another timeout, but somehow Alabama State is carving out space up front, and there's not much in the second line of defense for Tuskegee.
Just not finding the answers there. That was way too easy of a carry there left side. As the Golden Tiger defense now on the other side of the field in a massive hole there.
Well, here's the problem, Charles. What we're witnessing is Alabama State having success with very basic football offense. It's not that they're doing anything to catch Tuskegee off guard. They're just meeting them at the point of attack and just out-blocking them. And once they get that first seal block, there's nothing at the second level for Tuskegee. Somehow their linebackers, who we've seen all season be very active, they're just not having the type of productive game that we've seen them have.
Indeed. We were talking about it in the Booster Display pregame show about the length of the layoff for the Golden Tigers in Tuskegee. The question I put to you, you said 19 days without having played. Is that enough time to get out of football rhythm for a team?
Not just football rhythm, it's enough time to get out of football shape because you're not hitting. Your conditioning can be suspect. Your timing, everything is out of whack. And you know, as a tennis player, that once you leave a certain sport, you've got to have a certain number of repetitions under fire to stay sharp. Tuskegee, not having that time other than practicing against themselves, what can you do to keep that level of crispness? And so far this afternoon, especially on defense, we've seen some very uncharacteristic play.
Take a look at some of the numbers. We're headed into the second period of play now. The Hornets lead at 21-3 over the Golden Tigers at this stage of the ballgame. 14 plays for Alabama State, 206 yards compared to 16 plays for the Golden Tigers, total of 76 yards in that first period of play.
Here's my favorite stat of the game, Charles. Alabama State has the dominant stat on the scoreboard with 3 touchdowns. Guess who leads time of possession?
Just like
Tuskegee. By 8 minutes has the lead in time of possession. So whatever Alabama State has done, they've done it very quickly.
Indeed. Let's take a look at what they've done and how quickly they've done it. In their first possession, 4 plays, 75 yards, just under 2 minutes for that, 1 minute and 53 seconds on that drive. On their second touchdown of that first period of play, just 48 seconds to run it in on a 2-play, 75-yard drive to get the 14-0 lead. Then they got their third drive, an exact 48 seconds on that one, exact 2 plays. It just went 22 yards on that one. And they scored there for their first 3 touchdowns. And you total those numbers up, that's less than 5 minutes of possession of the football with 3 scores.
So we do know one thing about the Tuskegee defense. It's not fatigue because they haven't been on the field.
Good call. Tuskegee, though, got their first score of the ball game after a 10-play, 50-yard drive. Able to push it all in. And Rodgers, 30 yards off, got the field goal to give TU its first points of this 100th Turkey Day Classic. So you're right. You take a look at those numbers. The possession time stands out. Find the current where you can when you fall behind so early in this ball. Getting solace from the last 50-yard drive from the offense. The Tuskegee defense here, though, has done downfield by Gates. That's put the Hornets in good field position to start the second period.
First player back on the field for the Tuskegee defense was number 26, J.B.R. Miller. He's lined up left defensive end now.
1st and 10 for the Hornets. Keys in shotgun. Ball fake. They shoot it out in the flats. Catch made there at the corner. And wrapped up one time and got past that defender and sliding out of bounds. It's Dozier again for the Hornets of Alabama State.
Now, Rusty Grimes, the player that you mentioned, made contact appeared to wrap up, but didn't really close on the tackle. Receiver spins away for an additional 5 yards.
Got it down to the 23-yard line on that second spin, as you referenced there, Les. Dozier dishing out a lot of punishment for the Hornets of Alabama State. He's the one to score on that first touchdown pass from Keys. Snap. Fake pitch, Keys. Upfield, one-on-one coverage at the sideline, almost intercepted there. Michael King going stride for stride with the receiver there in the end zone and knocked it down. That's what we're more accustomed to seeing for that Golden Tiger secondary. Conference player Michael King on this coverage there.
So we talk about Javion Miller. And let's talk about matchups for a second. Javion Miller for Tuskegee is working against Cameron Smith, the offensive lineman for Alabama State, who's 6'6", 354. And all Smith is doing, he's locking up Miller by just using his size and footwork to hold him at the line of scrimmage. And so far, Miller has been invisible.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. Whistles at the line of scrimmage. But you referenced that point. You're talking about a SWAC squad versus an SIAC squad. And one of the differences is depth of roster, but also in terms of the size of the players in a lot of situations.
Well, here's the problem. Javion Miller is listed at 230 pounds. So you're giving up a 120-pound player who has responsibility for blocking you. That's a mismatch.
No question about it. If you can take advantage of speed, theoretically you have that. But if you're just standing straight up,
not if he gets those hands out.
Speed does not factor in.
There's no speed. If a 355-pound player gets his hands on your breastplate, you're not going anywhere.
No. They give an assessment there against the Hornets, backing them up 5 yards. They'll go on the ground right side. They'll get that right back. They'll slide it right to the end zone and a touchdown run again. One in reverse. It's Dozier again, running this time for the touchdown.
You know, you and I have been following this game a long time, and you can see the advantage that Alabama State has up front with its offensive line just against a Tuskegee front that doesn't have the size comparison to match on the edges.
Good call on that. That's absolutely true. So the Hornets notch another score. And Gilliam, last week's SWAC Special Teams Player of the Week, set to try the point after.
The reason I mentioned that, Charles, all of the scoring plays, at least the last three for Alabama State, have all been to the outside. It's nothing inside because Tuskegee's been fairly stout there. But once they get to the edge, they've been able to exploit that dominant advantage with their tackles and some of their receivers blocking downfield.
But again, before this point after attempt takes place, we've got another timeout on the field. Hornets extend their lead to 27-3 over the Golden Tigers. Let's take a break here on GTS.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines protects you and your family from disease. Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait, vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN.
Back live here at ASU Football Stadium on the campus of Alabama State University. The Hornets of Alabama State, another touchdown. They lead it now 27-3 over Tuskegee. Looking at the scoreboard down here to our left, Mark, and got it at 21. No second there on that play that they've taken these points off the board. For the moment, that's what they're showing here on the scoreboard.
We're going to defer on the scoreboard, but they do one thing, a state-of-the-art sound system at this stadium. During the last time out, they broke out a little hole in the wall. Tuskegee's got to be thinking, we got to do what we can to fix a hole in our defense at this point, because 4 touchdowns in a little over 1/4 of play, not a cook.
Not at all. And looking at this play, showing it on the screen here, the big screen here to our left, and the official is there getting that replay, assuming it's from our media competition, and showing them a play. That what happened on that touchdown run from Dozier on the reverse. Right now, they've taken the points off the scoreboard.
Well, between you and I didn't see any flag thrown.
Neither did I.
And I didn't see any reason to vacate that last score.
Nice word.
The officials, there are 2 groups of officials, one at the goal line and another at about the 17, that seemed to be having some type of conversation with another official. We're looking at the entire group. One official is now going to the Tuskegee sideline. We'll sort this thing out. That's a good one.
Wow.
So according to the officials, the runner lost control of the football before he crossed the goal line.
Yeah.
And that is one of those hairline plays that you rarely see. I didn't see any type of celebration, but as it stands, it appears that Tuskegee University, your Golden Tigers, are going to take over at the 20-yard line with the football. Unfortunately, down 21-3, but it could have easily been 27-3.
Indeed. You take it as you can get it here at the Turkey Day Classic. Tuskegee will certainly take that. And on that touchdown run just before crossing the goal, football belongs to the Golden Tigers, benefit of the Hornets. So from the 20 now. On the ground, Mulba, space up the middle, bounced near the 30-yard line. Good carry by Zena to get it up to the 30, close to that Pops restaurant first down.
I like the fact that you made that catch on the scoreboard, because I definitely wasn't paying attention to that. I just assumed that it was a TD until the officials started huddling up.
Sure. So that timeout, thought they had taken it because they'd taken one before after a point after attempt. On the ground, Zena works it right side this time. Runs it up to the 35, and that is the Pops restaurant first down for TU.
We saw head coach Aaron James of Tuskegee go very conservative, but really get a lot of productivity out of his ground game. He's starting the series the same way, picking up a first down on a couple of grounding plays. Wouldn't be surprised if he continued this trend until they got deep into Bama State territory.
21-3 your score on the scoreboard. 7 taken off the point of board for the Hornets after a miscue on a touchdown run. Celebrating before they got into the end zone. Tossing that football free. So Tuskegee got it. Now they'll throw it across the middle. Good catch there, laying out for that football. Just giving it his all right there was Kenneth K.J. Law. He's the one that dropped that one in the previous route. Looking back to Bill. Didn't want to disappoint his quarterback there. Laid his body out and just squeezed that football with both hands real tight on the dive.
Law with a fingertip catch over the middle, by the way, which is a very dangerous spot to make that reception. Picks up another big play for Tuskegee.
Bob's Restaurant first down at the 46-yard line. On the ground this time, Mulba wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage and slung to the surface. Rico Dozier on that stop for the Hornets of Alabama State in the backfield. Loss of about 4 on that play.
Rico Dozier had his name called 9 times last week on tackles as he led the entire team.
This time he got into the backfield with Tuskegee on that stop. So that'll bring up second down and 14 for TU. Back on their side of the 50 now. Bill lines up at the pistol. Ball fake. Bill upfield, feels the pressure, dumps it underneath to Mulba. Mulba at the sideline, break through the 2 tacklers there, and Zena down the sideline. Got it down near the 36-yard line, and a Bob's Restaurant first down after the catch and run by Zena Mulba right side.
Now, if Bill wanted to get a little greedy, he also had Brigman, who was finding some space right about the 30-yard line. He had the deep route and actually got behind his defender.
First and 10 down at the 37. On the choice to Mulba on the catch. They go to that Wildcat once again. Leverett this time in the backfield for TU. He'll take the snap, heads directly to his left, looking for space, runs into the pack at the 35.
Now, unlike Alabama State, Tuskegee has had some difficulty running over tackle because, again, the size and speed difference for Alabama State has been wearing on the offensive line. We haven't called the name LeBron Merriweather, the big center for Tuskegee, who's really made a huge difference in this offense. Wouldn't be surprised to see Merriweather, they could get him in space if they could run behind him.
It'll be Johnny Morris doing the running, we assume, because he's in the Wildcat alone in the backfield for Tuskegee. Now Leverett in motion. Morris keeps it, works it to his right, got it inside of the 35-yard line, down near the 33-yard line.
And just when you call his number, Merriweather, after that last play, he didn't take too kindly to an extra shot after the whistle was blown and gave him a little bit back for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He got a nice little elbow in. You gotta love feisty players. Down 21-3. Show me some fight.
Sure, absolutely. Merriweather's done a good job for Tuskegee all season long, kind of adjusted in terms of his positioning at that line.
Coach Aaron James really animated on the sideline, not happy with the alignment, trying to get the attention of his wide receivers.
Third down play here for TU, 3rd and 6. Snap the bill, whistles at the line of scrimmage.
The entire coaching staff of Tuskegee, you got one coach on the field. They are just not happy with how their players are getting into spots at the line of scrimmage. There are 3 coaches at the far hash mark out, just in their players' faces saying, okay, you want to play football? This is how we're going to do it.
Timeout was taken by Tuskegee. They took it with 9:37 remaining in this first half of play on a critical 3rd down and 6.
I like the fight the coaches are showing their players. They're treating this as, okay, you may be down 21-3, but we expect a certain amount of alertness and effort out of you when you get to the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you what, you talk about the fact that they're down 21-3 at this point, but this is a critical possession here for Tuskegee. You get a score here, you've got a little bit of momentum behind you going in closer to the half, still with some football left before the break.
Well, you know I'm one for bright moments in small places.
Sure.
I'd be happy to see Tuskegee just pick up this 3rd and 6, convert this first down so you can keep this drive alive.
Sure, absolutely true. You got to reflect on that last possession where they went in the 3rd and the medium, and then Law was not able to collect that football at the sideline on the catch. So to your point, you got to do the small things to get the big results you want. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 33-yard line. Football resting in the middle of the field.
Speaking of small things, I have this small slice of pecan pie that I'm going to dive into at halftime. It is Thanksgiving, and so you have to always save space for dessert.
And no doubt about it, they have the spread that represents a Thanksgiving meal here behind us. So many cakes back there. You can't get through all of that.
Even though we're the visiting team and Alabama State is our opponent, I have to give credit where credit is due, just on the setup and the cooperation of their staff and helping us get organized. They've been helpful at every level, including the pregame spread, which is it's probably going to be the best spread we've seen all season.
Well, we can go ahead and call out a name for this. When we first got here, we met Fred Sington, the sports information director here. And Fred, just so accommodating, getting us things inside the booth. And then he came in, peeked into the booth and said, hey, guys, the food's here.
Oh, even better. About an hour before, he came in and had a box of donuts.
Sure.
And it's like, yes, I will have a donut.
And you've just been sweetening it up ever since, right? Now you all the pecan pie, right?
Look, this is Thanksgiving.
Sure.
And if you're home listening, we hope that you're enjoying the same type of festive atmosphere with your friends and or families. This is a time that every small moment should be celebrated to the fullest.
Absolutely true. This time of year, you just reflect on the things that you've gone through in that year, and just thankful for the times that have been really good, and then just got to really soak it all in. Hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving day. We are here at ASU Football Stadium enjoying ours. It's Tuskegee now threatening here on a 3rd down and 6. 9:37 remaining in the first half, trailing 21-3 on the Hornets end of the football field. Big down coming here after the timeout. Leverett joins Bill in the backfield. Bill with the snap, pressure by the Hornets. Crossing, and they can't pull it in there. Had a man there, going to still be short of the first down, but they were trying to get it in the hands of the tight end and not able to get it there into the hands of Gregory King. King had it momentarily, just not able to corral it and keep it for Tuskegee.
Also pressuring was Tyler Swan for Alabama State. That ball may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage ever so slightly, throwing that pass off target.
And you were talking about 2-down territory a few minutes ago on a 4th down here. Tuskegee lining up to go for it here with 4th and 3 and the clock running. They got to get that football to the 28-yard line to keep it. 4th down play. Hornets came on the last one. Bill in the pistol.
They have loaded up the right side of that defensive line for Alabama State.
Leverett with Bill in the backfield. See if they can't get the Hornets to jump. Now Leverett swings out. Bill fires across the middle, crossing right there. Catch made beyond the sticks. That's enough for the Vibes Restaurant first down. Kenneth K.J. Law with the grab at the 25-yard line.
Give credit to Bill for standing tall in the pocket, taking a ferocious hit in his chest after he delivered that football right up the middle for the first down.
Boy, did he unload that one, though. Law with the grab at the 25. That's a character check there for Tuskegee.
I like when Bill decides to just throw that ball on a line, hits his target, very decisive, first down, Tuskegee.
Leverett joins Bill in the backfield. Tight slot is at the top of the screen. TU going right to left in this quarter. Now they bring Kamoku on the left side. Ball fake. They throw it back across the middle. That one batted at the line of scrimmage. They were trying to square it up to the outside there to Charles Townsend, the freshman. He was square there near the 20, but that one batted by the charging Hornets at the line of scrimmage.
We've seen Tuskegee have success with a quick hitter over the middle. That time, Beal threw off that characteristic 3-step drop, had what he wanted, just didn't have space.
He comes out of the lineup now. Johnny Morris in there. They'll line up in that Wildcat with him being the lone back for Tuskegee. 2nd down and 10 at the 25 of Alabama State. Down to 8:40. Morris, left side, looks for some room. Now we'll try to cut it back to the inside, but the pursuit by the Hornets catches up with him as he got it down near the 24. Elijah Elmore on that play for the Hornets, trailing that play from behind. So 3rd down now for the Golden Tigers. Raekwon Bill back out on the playing surface for Tuskegee. You would think with this 3rd and 9 that pass may be a strong option here for Tuskegee.
They've got 2 receivers to either side, 1 slot receiver, 1 wide right.
Everett with Bill in the backfield. Garvin and Cooper down at the bottom of the screen, part of a set. Snap to Bill. Looks that way now, checks off. Pressure from the backside. He'll roll right side. Tries to stop and plant and throw, but they caught up with him. But the football came loose, and diving on it for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee was Elliott Howell, the senior. Headsy on that play to keep that football in Tuskegee's hands.
Beal had time to throw. That's simply a coverage sack. Excellent coverage deep downfield for Alabama State. There was no one open for Tuskegee as they were trying to actually look deep. They had 2 receivers breaking their patterns off around the 10-yard line. Beal just didn't have that extra time to go deep downfield.
Tuskegee opting to get more points out of the situation, Mark, and they're going to bring on Ryans here. And this one they'll put down at the 38-yard line. Got to be a 48-yard effort by Ryans for Tuskegee. He's hit from 47. Got enough leg on this. It's floater, and Ryan knocks it through for Tuskegee. So Larkin from 48 scores the field goal for TU.
Ryan's with a line drive kick, as you mentioned. That is one of his longest of the season, if not the longest.
He hit from 47 against Grambling. And this one comes against another SWAC opponent, the Hornets of Alabama State, knocks it through from 48.
That had about another
10 on it, sure.
All right. I was going to say 5, but I'll give him 10.
Tuskegee takes 6. They get 2 field goals from Ryan. They trade it to the Hornets, 21-6. We're in second period action here. on GTSN. We'll take a timeout.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative care measures available to protect you and your family from disease. Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It is crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Tuskegee fans, let's all do our part to get back on track. Protect yourself and others by making sure you are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
I'm Rolandus Rice, Chief Operating Officer and the Vice President for Student Affairs at Tuskegee University, and this is the Golden Tigers Sports Network.
Back live here at ASU Football Stadium. Hornets of Alabama State with a 21-6 lead over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. But Mark, some good news for Tuskegee. The last two possessions resulted in field goals, starting to get their feet under them a little bit offensively.
Since it's Thanksgiving, Charles, I'm going to give thanks for the little things. This could have easily have been a 27-3 game, but for the early celebration of an Alabama State player who lost control of the football right before he crossed the goal line, Tuskegee is a halfway respectable, given the way they have given up some huge plays. I'm going to say on Thanksgiving, now bear with me, I'm going to say it's only 21-6 because it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That play was clearly worked to the benefit of the Hornets on the touchdown on the run, but just that miscue on the decision to celebrate before you got over.
Now here's the sell job for the Tuskegee coaches. They've got to persuade and convince their team that they are still in this contest. You're on the sideline. Your players look at the scoreboard just like we look at the scoreboard. They've got to think, how do we get this team convinced that we can win this thing?
No doubt about it. You better reflect on that field goal attempt there by Ryans to hit it from 48 yards away. That was a statement. Okay, we got to get points to stay in this thing. However we get them, we get them. We go back-to-back field goals. That works and allows us to, like you said, build the confidence of this team. Going down that time on the possession and come away empty would have been another disturbing message for the squad. But you get something out of it, you got a momentum builder from there. So Ryans to kick it as we get set to resume action here in the second period. Larkin with the kick, trying to kick it away from the coverage. This one will be fielded at the 10-yard line. Looking for the sideline now. Harrell on the return for the Hornets of Alabama State. He got it up to the 36-yard line.
Now let's go ahead and state the obvious, Charles.
Yeah.
Tuskegee on defense has got to be thinking, what do we have to do to get a 3-and-out from Alabama State? If Alabama State picks up a quick first down on this series, it would be deflating to the Tuskegee defense, who should be thinking now, okay, the offense has started to get on track. How can we complement them?
Nice call on that. You're right. First few possessions of this football game, Hornets have scored on 3 of your first 4 possessions. So Tuskegee has stopped them once. And on the ground this time, they get bottled up at the initial line of scrimmage. Run on the right side.
So Tuskegee's running now Jaden Barfield, defensive end. Now I'm going to give you his numbers, Charles, and remember what he's running up against at Alabama State. Barfield is 6'2", 225. So he's going to have a huge challenge protecting the edge.
Yeah. So on that left side, we'll see if the Hornets try to run it that way. It was Kinsey on the previous carry. Got a half yard. Misdirection. They'll go right side, roll up the field, and got a man wide open once again, tiptoeing the sideline and staying in bounds all the way in for another touchdown. Went to the same person. Robert McMinn able to run it down the field and kept its balance at the sideline for the 6.
McMinn must be majoring in ballet because he hit the sideline. His body momentum appeared to be taking him out of bounds. He self-corrected and just glided down the sideline. We get a chance of catching the replay on the huge video screen here. Felt contact, planted his right foot, stayed in bounds, and scored.
Yeah, right there in front of the line judge, watching him step for step. His body is almost out of bounds, but his feet somehow are staying on the playing surface. And he's swinging those arms to keep the balance, just like you referenced, like some kind of ballerina. Just a great effort by him. Artistic touchdown run by McMinn. And the Hornets do exactly what you said the Golden Tigers cannot allow them to do. They come right back and they score a touchdown.
McMinn might have a career with Alvin Ailey. He needs to sign up.
That's not a bad football player either, though. So, yeah, great work by him with the footwork at the sideline. That one certainly will make somebody's highlight reel. As Gilliam knocks the point through for the Hornets of Alabama State. And they answer the field goal by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with a touchdown and a point after. They lead it now 28-6 over Tuskegee. And we're at 6:04 remaining in first half play. We'll take a break on GTSN.
I love the lake. It's like one of the few places I can just let go and be myself. I really love it here.
Hey, Tuskegee fans, I'm Reginald Ruffin, Director of Athletics, and you are listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Go to you.
We're back live here at ASU Football Stadium on the campus of Alabama State University at the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Another touchdown for the Hornets of Alabama State. Mark, we're just talking about it. Your assessment why this is looking so easy for that Hornet offense.
So, if I'm head coach Aaron James and he's headed into recruiting season, at the top of his list has got to be defensive ends for both edges that have some size to compete with offensive lines, because all Alabama State is doing, Charles, their offensive tackles are locking up, literally, Tuskegee's defensive ends, so they're able to throw outside, and when Tuskegee's linebackers cannot arrive to the spot of attack quick enough, you have these one-on-one matchups where the running back or receiver already has a full head of steam up, and it's up to them on the run after catch to use that speed to their advantage against players that they can beat to the end zone.
That's a nice assessment, unfortunately, because that's what we're seeing develop here with that Hornet offense. As they score another touchdown, they lead it now 28-6.
If you can control the line of scrimmage as dominantly as Alabama State has been on the corners, the defense ends for Tuskegee, you can just basically erase them out of the equation. So it's up to your outside linebackers and even your safeties to fill those gaps. And there's just too much space to cover.
Numbers just keep repeating themselves in this football game for the Hornets of Alabama State. Another two-play drive. This one 64 yards in less than a minute to score on that one. So time of possession likely stays the way that it is, but the scoreboard just keeps itching in favor of the Hornets.
And again, this is a prime example of playing a team which is in a conference a step above. Sometimes the talent level is so much an advantage to one side that you can't compensate for it with athleticism or speed. Alabama State is just too big.
Won last year's contest 41-23. Already halfway on that scoring mark in this football game. Into the end zone, so the Golden Tigers will have to bring the football out from possession with 6:04 remaining before the intermission. Tuskegee got a 48-yard field goal from Larkin Ryans. But the Hornets answered right back after they got a good return on the kick. And then only 2 plays were able to put it into the end zone, making up for that 1 touchdown that they lost on the celebration call. Those points taken off the board. Bill and the offense for Tuskegee back out from the 25. Tuskegee would love to get another score here before the break. Snap to Bill. On the ground, Morris right side with the carry for TU, past the 30-yard line. The pack being pushed up near the 33-yard line, a couple of yards shy of the first down marker.
Tuskegee would like nothing better than to have a ball possession drive going into the half with 5:45 remaining and counting. Wouldn't be surprised to see them keep the ball towards the middle of the field. They've got this 2nd and short coming up.
From the 31. Bill lines up in the pistol. And they bring both receivers tight to the line. On the ground, straight ahead. That's Morris with the football trying to spin it to his right. But knocked down. No gain on that play for Tuskegee.
I'll tell you how big the defensive front, or how influential the front for Alabama State is. Jordan Fry, the offensive tackle for Tuskegee, simply got spun around. He was facing his own goal line. By the time he felt contact, just wasn't able to get enough momentum to surge forward.
Yeah, that's not a good look in the film room, that's for sure. 3rd down. And Morris did get a yard on the previous play, so it's 3rd and 2 now for Tuskegee. 4:47 remains first half. They'll line up in the Wildcat. Snap to Morris. Wait for a blocker, left side. Now trying to spring to the inside. He's there. Morris got some space now for Tuskegee. Has his legs turned from under him, but that's not until he gets up near the 47. And a Vibes restaurant first down. So out of that Wildcat, Morris was waiting on the receiver from the far end who was coming in on motion that time to get in front of him, and Morris took advantage of the block at the outside to turn it back in and got the first down. Wildcat, they go again. In motion, Sellers. Now Morris keeps it. Now he'll spin back to the inside looking for a hold and knock down at the 45-yard line. Not sure how that play was supposed to go. He and Sellers were running in step with each other on the right side, and at the last moment, Morris decided to keep it as he's talking to Sellers now in the backfield. And then Morris tried to reverse field, but the Hornets caught him on the reverse and knocked him down about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage.
There's another player for Alabama State giving Tuskegee problems. Jamil Brown, lined up over center, 6'3", 355.
Oh, they got the size, no question. 2nd down and 11. Bill back in there in the pocket. Survey steps up, shoots it toward the sideline. Catch there at the sideline. Nicely done there by Gabriel Garman for TU.
On that last play, Brown was matched up against Sean Stitton. Stitton got a great block on Brown, maintaining enough time for Bill to make that throw to the sideline. After he made the block, Stitton put his hands out and said, "What else you want me to do? I did my job."
That's what I do. And Gabriel Garman did his at that sideline, got free, and Bill did his. He put it right on the numbers. So the football now at the 30, fresh set of downs for TU. On the ground, flags at the line of scrimmage. Tuskegee trying to come left with a play to Sellers. And likely going to be pushed back 5 yards as a result.
That time, Tuskegee schemed up LeBron Merriweather to work against Brown. He actually had good position to make that seal block on Brown. That play was stopped before it could get started. But it's interesting how Tuskegee is using both Stitton and Merriweather against the big defensive tackle for Bama State.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do scheme-wise to minimize that size difference. And that's a good adjustment from the coaching staff if that's what we're seeing evolve here. We're at 2:35 left first half of play. Tuskegee on another drive. This time they're down at the 35 of the Hornets. And on the ground, Sellers slides through right side, chase down near the 31-yard line.
Nothing fancy for Tuskegee, Charles, to that point. They seem to be searching. for something inside on these double team blocks against Alabama State to carve out some space in the middle of the field there. They decided we're not going to try to get to the edge so much. Let's see what we can do up the middle.
That been coupled in with a couple of passes from Bill, and they're down at the 32. And we come to the 2-minute timeout here before the intermission.
We've also seen Bill have some success with what is known as a skinny post at this point in the field. Likes to hit his receivers in stride, and if he can, we've seen some very accurate run after catches from Bill throws.
Tuskegee certainly needs a touchdown here before this first half expires. They trail it 28-6 to the Hornets of Alabama State. 2-minute timeout before play resumes. We'll step out as well on GTSN.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines protects you and your family from disease. Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait, vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Golden Tiger fans, I'm Anthony Holloman, Commissioner of the SIAC, and this is Golden Tiger Sports Network.
Back live here at ASU Football Stadium on the campus of Alabama State University, Montgomery, Alabama, the site of the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State University. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter with the play call on GTSN. Last 2 minutes remaining before we go into the intermission. Tuskegee would like nothing more than be able to get a touchdown here on this possession.
Well, the person in charge of special effects at Alabama State Stadium just cranked up Atomic Dog. And as we know, Charles, you better have a lot of dog in you on the offensive line if you're going to think about carving anything out front against Alabama State.
Yeah, defense for Alabama State has been rugged. It's the number one defense in the SWAC. But Tuskegee, as this first half has unfolded, they have gotten into an offensive rhythm. This is their third consecutive drive in which they've taken a pass midfield and on the Hornets side of the field.
We see a second timeout called on the field as Tuskegee's team is gathered around Coach Aaron James. We've had some unusually long timeouts because this game is being televised. As we have told our listeners, turn down the sound on our competitors' television network and listen to the Golden Tiger Sports Network.
No question about it. They get all the casual fans. We bring you the real deal here on GTSN.
What's the slogan? We got you.
We got you. No question. Here is Bill in the shotgun. They'll go reverse on this. Back to Bill, looking upfield now. Here comes the pressure. Dumps it out in the flats now. Oh, Cooper just nailed in his tracks at the 34. He took a wicked shot there by the Hornet secondary. But Devin able to come up off the surface.
Tuskegee trying to be a little deceptive off the snap with the handoff back to the quarterback, Bill. But the linebacker for Alabama State was not going for any of the fakes, and that was Gabe Spencer. In on the tackle in the open field, got a rise from the crowd.
And they got the big Jumbotron showing that one on replay. Man, Cooper just got whacked on that one. Third down play here for TU as they survey the sideline with the call. And more so than survey, they're going to take a timeout here with 1:09 remaining before the break, to the point that Coach James knows that they are in a situation that they have got to call an excellent play here on this third down to keep that football.
Well, not just an excellent play, Charles. They've got to call a play that gives Beal enough time to find a receiver in a medium range pattern. He doesn't have the advantage because he's going to that 3-step drop. He's going to have to go to a 5 or 7-step drop gain at least 3 seconds of time to survey the field to make this next throw. This is a pass play.
Yep. Tuskegee back out on the football field first.
You know, when you're out in the street playing touch football, and you count that 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. By the time he gets to 3 Mississippis, that ball has to be out. Anything after that, law and order's out the window.
Sure, good call on that. You're right. It's got to be able to just time it, get it upfield. They'll go with slots at the bottom of the screen and at the top. Bill lines up in the pistol, joined by Sellers in the backfield. On a big third down play, 3rd and 14, snap the Bill, looking upfield, steps up in the pocket. He feels the pressure, floats left side, fires at the sideline, and overshot Cooper just in front of the Hornet bench.
Now, here's the thing. On that last throw, Beal had 5 Mississippis. Just didn't have anyone open deep downfield. Give credit to the coverage team of Bama State that has really done an excellent job of blanketing the receivers for Tuskegee.
Yeah, that was a coverage play there for that secondary. And Tuskegee on this 4th down with 61 seconds remaining, going for it here on 4th.
So if he could get 5 Mississippis on the previous play, you'd think that he could at least get 4 on this snap.
Yeah, and really last time Bill had enough real estate in front of him if he were more of a runner there to make this 4th down situation a lot more manageable. He'll take a snap in the pockets, got some time, steps up, floats it across the middle, and he throw a pick. Throw it right at the 15 into double coverage. Hornets back the other way with the football. Trying to squeeze it somehow into the hands of Devin Cooper, but Cooper guarded by 3 defenders for the Hornets.
Beal had 4 seconds to throw and just made a poor decision throwing into heavy traffic in the middle of the field right at the 15-yard line. And Alabama State said, thank you very much. We'll make the interception and take it back out almost to midfield.
Well, you know, Tuskegee on that 4th down, they're thinking that's probably no more than a punt. That's the reality of that. But one of the things we did not mention in the pregame about this Hornets defense, they are number 1 in the SWAC in interceptions. They had 15 coming into today's ball game, and they picked Bill for the first time here this afternoon.
So if you're thinking of that last play as a punt, you may as well just go deep downfield as opposed to going into the middle of the field in shallow coverage.
Yeah, good point. I mean, there was double, perhaps triple coverage that time, trying to squeeze something in there to Devin Cooper on a crossing route.
That passing route was about 15 yards, 17 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. If you're going to go deep, go deep. Go big or go home.
Keys in the Hornet offense now. They're trying to go big here. They dump it out in the flats, catch made at the corner there. McMinn trying to tiptoe a little bit more on the sideline there, run out of bounds this time at the 44-yard line. 42 seconds left. The Hornets lining up a no huddle with the idea that they'd like to get another score before the break. They think the 42 seconds is enough to get down there. They've scored twice with less than a minute. As Keys takes the snap, here comes the pressure. He'll tuck and run, but wrapped up from behind. Good defensive work there by Tyler Wells for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee following that play.
Tuskegee running only 4 down linemen at the line of scrimmage. 1 linebacker, Davis, was about 5 yards down the line of scrimmage. An excellent reaction play as the quarterback for Bama State decided to run up the middle.
They take a timeout with 36 seconds left in this first half of play. And the Hornets, with 36 seconds left, trying to dial up something, see if they can't get it downfield and get into the end zone again before the break. Four touchdown drives, one with under 2 minutes left, one under 48, another under 48, and another one at 53. Remember, they had one taken off the board in that first half as well. So Tuskegee slow to come back onto the field. Now they're back out, set to begin action. This is the 3rd down play here for the Hornets, 3rd and 3, with 36 seconds left in the first half. They go on the ground. Got enough for the first down on the carry, and that's Kinsey. And Kinsey got it up to the 45-yard line with 30 seconds left. Now they run that football to the middle of the field mark, and they get a chance to either spread the field on either side with something downfield we anticipate from Keys throwing the football. Fresh set of downs. Ball fake in the pocket, one-on-one up top there. Behind the coverage, And that one's going to be defended by Michael King. Good job by King.
Like the job he got his head around, also got a hand up in the face of the receiver, knocking that ball away at about the 20-yard line. Alabama State running receivers very wide to both sides. They like to play outside of the safeties for Tuskegee or lined up tight.
Asa Craig, the intended receiver for Keys, he is one of their favorite targets. But King equal to the challenge defensively for TU. They're going at it again. Keys, this time across the middle. This one's going to be picked there. Good defensive effort there. Coming back to that ball was Cameron Reynolds for TU, and Tuskegee gets the interception. So they stop any further bleeding in this first half with the pick by Reynolds coming back to the football at the 25.
Like the play by Reynolds. Made an excellent read and react on that play. You can see him turn, spot the receiver, make the catch, and Tuskegee gets a turnover of their own.
Indeed. Reynolds started the season for Tuskegee in that defensive secondary, but had some good play from other players that just kind of took him out of the lineup. But Reynolds has been contributing all season long. That's his second NIT for Tuskegee this season, and gives that football to the offense with 12 seconds left. And the offense is going to go down and take the knee to just get us into the halftime. Bill will do that as we come to the break here at the 100th Turkey Day Classic here in Montgomery, Alabama. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State. SIAC versus the SWAC. Right now at the break, it's the Hornets of Alabama State with a 28-6 lead over Tuskegee. Golden Tigers got to make some adjustments in that halftime, particularly on defense, to see if they can come out with a stronger second half. We'll take a break here at the Turkey Day Classic. More football just ahead on GTSN.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes.
Hey,
Hey,
what are you doing?
just marking off this area here with cones so we can repair the storm damage.
Why?
So no one gets near the down power lines.
Why?
Because down power lines can be dangerous if you touch them. But it's okay, it's okay. That's what we're here for.
Why?
To keep you safe, so you can, walk Fido there.
Her name is Princess Buttercup.
Buttercup, okay.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Broadcast coverage of Tuskegee Athletics on the Golden Tiger Sports Network is brought to you by Alabama Department of Public Health. Healthy people, healthy communities, healthy Alabama. Booster Digital Displays, dedicated to providing high-quality, affordable LED displays with exceptional service. TNT Fireworks, celebrating more than 100 years of America's #1 best-selling brand of fireworks. Alabama Power, developed for the service of Alabama. Wind Creek Casino, Montgomery. Elevate your game to fabulous. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. Coca-Cola, real magic. Zuby's Taco Kitchen, Yellowwood. And by Vibes Restaurant, we're all about good vibes.
And we are back live at an ASU football stadium on the campus of Alabama State University, live at the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama A&M, or Alabama State University. We are live at the intermission. Hornets of Alabama State with a 28-6 lead over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. March half, if we have one stat to really look at during the course of the season, really tell us a different story. But today, when we look at that time of possession, it really belies what we see in terms of the numbers there.
You and I have been covering football for a long time. We go back to the early 90s. And I can't think of any game where a team that had the ball for 21 minutes out of 30, yes, to be exact, 21-16, as opposed to 8:42, would be at a halftime deficit of 28-6. So all you can say is that anytime Alabama State has touched the football, they have known what to do with it very quickly.
Indeed, they have. That first half of play, they started out on their first possession, their longest touchdown possession in that first half. A minute and 53 seconds. They covered 4 plays and 7 to get their first score. Then they came back, and in only 48 seconds, 2 plays, 75 yards to get their second score. The third one, they duplicated the time at 48 seconds again, and the number of plays, just 2, but only had to go 22 yards in that drive to get their.
One thing you can say about the Alabama State offense so far is that they're playing as if they have a plane to catch. They are doing everything with a suddenness that Tuskegee just hasn't able to keep up with. And the main reason is that they are so dominant on the edges that Alabama State, once they get Tuskegee's defense locked up at both defensive end positions, there is nothing that the linebackers can do to compensate. And by the time the defensive backs can react, it's just too late. And Alabama State has not been doing anything fancy. They've just been taking advantage of a huge size advantage up front.
And cap off their scoring with their final drive in that first half, 2 plays, 64 yards. That one under a minute with just 53 seconds. Now you take a look at the 2 drives by Tuskegee in that first half. They both resulted in field goals, but the first drive leading to the field goals, 10 plays, 50 yards. That's 5 minutes and 18 seconds. That one drive equaling almost all of the scoring drive time for the drives total for the Hornets of Alabama State. And then in the second drive for Tuskegee, 13 plays, 50 minutes, almost 7 minutes off the clock to get that 3-point field goal there. So when you look at the numbers as it relates to time of possession, you can see why Tuskegee has consumed so much of it just on the 2 drives that resulted in scores. And don't forget, Tuskegee got over that 50-yard line a couple times in that first half on deep penetrations with a chance to score, just got denied a couple of times in that first half.
Well, you pointed out yourself how effective Alabama State has been, especially with interceptions. They were able to turn over Tuskegee. When they did turn them over, they were getting pressure in on Beal because he didn't have time to spot receivers deep.
Get set to start the second half here from the 100th Turkey Day Classic. Glad you could join us on GTSN. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter, and our remote production crew in our studios covering our action today. We're underway in the second half. Over the shoulder return there by Tuskegee. Going to be Leverett right side looking for some space. Coming back to the inside now with some space in the middle. Turns it back. Causes a contact near the 50. And just plows through one of the Hornet defenders at the 50 near the 49 on the other end of the field.
Leverett lowered his helmet and delivered impact right across the 50-yard line to send a message to the coverage team of Alabama State that we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Good return there by Tuskegee to get things to the second half. We'll see what adjustments they make throughout this second half, but already on the return, that's a momentum statement by them on the return past midfield.
Also, you can see him on the sideline being congratulated by his teammates and coaches just for sending that strong message to start the second half.
From the 48-yard line on the Hornet side of the football field, here comes TU. Bill, that quarterback, he'll line up with slot receivers either side. Officials step in now before play from the line of scrimmage sets. Morris, John joins Bill in the backfield.
They had to get the kicking tee off the field.
Yeah, you want to do that. 7-15 throwing for Bill and all fake on the ground to Morris. Slides back, second wave of the defense. Johnny turned in and over end, but down at the 37-yard line. close to the Vibes Restaurant first down, and it is a Vibes Restaurant first down.
Nice to see Tuskegee's offense picking up the pace on this last drive.
Bill with the shotgun set, joined by Morris. They'll try right side this time. Morris turns the corner, tripped up there at the 35, falls ahead near the 2-yard line. Out of the hole there. Just got tripped up as he went through it. Pick up of 6 on that play nonetheless.
He had a hold and may have tripped up over his own blocker who was trying to get in front of him. Morris was anxious to see that space carved out right towards the sideline. Just got out of rhythm and tripped up right before he got to the 30-yard line.
You talk about the Hornets looking like they're pressing headed toward the airport. On this first drive, Golden Tigers with a little pep in that step, like they got to be somewhere also at the 34 of Alabama State. Snap, Bill, ball fake, Bill throws, corner, catch made, Cooper up at the sideline, chased out of bounds near the first down marker.
I like the crispness that they're operating with right out of the huddle, the no huddle. Tuskegee just a bit quicker to the line of scrimmage, unlike what they were doing in the first half. They're ready to roll.
Cooper with a grab about a yard shy of the first down marker. 13:23 left in the third, just underway. Tuskegee trailing at 28-6. Trying to rally back into this football game. Wildcat set. Morris alone in the backfield for TU. Sliding the line now is Gilbert to the right side. Now they bring a man in motion. Ball fake. Morris right side. Johnny wrapped up from behind, but still carrying that defender inside of the 25 down to the 24.
Morris had enough momentum running behind Jordan Ford, a name we've mentioned a lot. Ford is just a freshman, but very active up front. Got to the outside, threw the block at about the 35-yard line, the 25, picked up the first down for Tuskegee.
So Sellers in there now in that Wildcat set. Vibes Restaurant first down, run to the 24. So Chase handles. He'll take the snap, gets a block. Moore is leading him into the hole. Chase Sellers on the outside. He's tripped up inside of the 20. Down at the 19-yard line.
The saving tackle by James Burgess of Bama State right on the corner. He doesn't make that tackle. Tuskegee's looking at the end zone.
Tuskegee coming off the halftime. First possession of the second half. Got a good return to the 49 to start things off. That offense has been very deliberate since then. Right now, just inside the red zone at the 19. Sellers. He'll line up in that Wildcat. Mulba. He'll break it in motion right side. Ball fake. Keeping it as Sellers. Trying to slide it back to the inside. And that's just the pack pusher there. They got it down near the 17. But we'll see where they mark it after they pile it there.
It's interesting how Tuskegee will go to this Wildcat offense, Charles, and they'll just run a series of plays off of it, just daring the defenders to react to the running backs taking the direct snap.
Sure, it's just a straight ahead thing of we're going to run it. You just got to figure out where we're going with it. This time, Bill back in there to handle things from the quarterbacking spot. He'll line up in the shotgun. 3rd down and 3 for TU at the 17 of the Hornets. Snap to Bill. He looks, fires across the middle, and throw the pick. Tried to get it to Cooper and led him too far. Oh, my goodness. Tuskegee on a push there, and they throw the interception.
And a flag thrown after that play, but Bill throwing into coverage on that simple in route. Had a man, but once again throwing into traffic.
Ammon Scarborough on the back end of that catch for the Hornets of Alabama State. And you were talking about the rhythm that they had with that Wildcat, getting them down to that possession. Then they come back in with opportunity to throw it, and they throw the second interception of the football game.
Also, added bad news, a personal foul after the play called against Tuskegee's Golden Tigers. So Alabama State will have the ball past the 40-yard line to start this next drive.
Wow. You go from where you were on the field, coming in after the halftime. Great return and a sustained drive after the return. And you talk about a momentum buster. Second pick of the football game
Odd thing about that play, Charles, there seemed to be some confusion on the defensive side for Alabama State. You can see players shifting at the last minute. They were loaded up to one side. They were shifting back to the right before the snap. Beal had to see the confusion, but instead of taking advantage of it, throws the pick right in the middle of the field.
Boy, it's difficult to rally after that one. You're coming in off the break, you know what the conversation was and the levels of inspiration they must have gotten in that locker room. They came out with that quick pep in the step.
I like that you stated levels of inspiration. I would say there's probably some paint peeling off the walls of the locker room for Tuskegee.
It doesn't matter how you get it, right?
Right. It might have been a little acidic in that locker room at that time.
My oh my, so they rally the timeout on the other side of the football field with Tuskegee gathered out there. That's mostly the defense getting set to go back out.
Head coach Aaron James, he has a very mild-mannered demeanor in public, but I would imagine those are the coaches you have to worry about the most once you get behind closed doors. And if you get him upset, I would imagine there are clipboards flying because he couldn't have been happy with the performance of the defense, especially in the first half, giving up those huge plays, not on physical mistakes, but on mental errors in coverage.
Nice call. And now you just got to compound it at another level. Is that you hope you see some adjustments defensively starting in the second half, but with what you just saw in terms of the offense pushing the football down the field and then just getting that devastating blow with the interception, how you just keep this team together, just realizing that you're still in this ball game.
Well, we talked about this off the top. Wouldn't be surprised to see some new numbers and faces in this second half. With the score 28-6, this also becomes a time for auditions for Tuskegee looking ahead to next season.
Yeah, you've got a window here in this third period, probably half of the fourth, where you got a chance to really just climb back in this football game if you do everything right. But at some point, you're right, it's going to be what we look at now. Can fill some minutes in this game and get a quality look at it inside of football, live action.
Well, there are two levels to what you just said, Charles. There's that level of respectability on the scoreboard. If you don't win the football game, you at least want to get into double digits. You don't want to come out with a deficit that looks so lopsided that your program has to be embarrassed about it. You want to show enough resolve to say, okay, we played as close as we could with them, and it was not a blowout.
Yeah, it takes me back to shades of the Grambling game. When we did not have a good first half, but that second half was a half of respectability. And you came away from that scenario thinking, okay, we have a solid football team. We know we can play. But that was early in the season. Now you're in the back half, and you get a 2-week delay before this one, and the psyche may just be totally different. We'll see how the second half plays out.
Great comparison.
On the ground now, this is Kinsey with the football for the Hornets. He'll lunge ahead for about 4 on that carry for the Hornets on their first play for possession.
Now, on the other hand, if you're Alabama State, wouldn't be surprised to see them very content to be very conservative with the running game, keep the ball in the middle of the field, and just run the clock.
Keys in shotgun. Tuskegee stepping up to that line, showing they were coming on a blitz, but whistles at the line of scrimmage before this play gets started. That was against the Hornets. That's a motion there.
You know, we're facing Interstate 85 here in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm surprised to see so much traffic going north and south. Aren't these people supposed to be home having dinner?
It should be. They could have left already. Some people start their dinner around 12.
That's eating during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
That's allowed.
You got to wait till the second NFL game before you start eating.
And on the ground, Kinsey again left side, not a whole lot of space there. While we're at intermission, I've got to pick some pictures from my family members. My family is gathering down in the Statesboro area. We do it almost every Thanksgiving at my grandmother's home, a site for all of my aunts and uncles growing up, and just do that annual picture. Just got it at halftime. So extensions of Happy Thanksgiving to the Ward clan down in the Statesboro area.
The question is, did they save you a seat or they just put somebody else in your spot?
My cousin had the nerve to say, hey, look, We want you to just make a donation if you're not coming for the meal. It's like Keys on the catch there. And that by McMahon again. McMahon with the catch at the 44, but lunges ahead past the 45. That's enough for Hornets first down. Yeah, about 100-acre farm down in that area that my father grew up in, his sisters and brothers, and that's the keepsake for the family, trying to gather there every year.
That's a tremendous tradition.
We all enjoy it. 1st and 10 for the Hornets of Alabama State. They lead it 28-6 over the Golden Tigers. Keys on the ground, gives it straight ahead. Second wave of the defense on the carry of the Hornets. They get it past the 45 and inside of the 45 down to the 42.
So my question is, when you gather everybody around the table, you have that many people, and somebody decides to bless the food, do they talk too long?
No, we don't have that tradition. We are in eating groups. The instructions are billed out early on. You've got 30, not minutes, right? That was Harris on the carry for the Hornets. He got a good run for a first down, and now he's trying to work his way to the corner to get a few more extra yards and finally slid out of bounds just in front of the Tuskegee bench, far side of the football field.
Flag behind that play. Looks like you're going to get a hold against Alabama State. Flag came flying in right about the 45-yard line. So Tuskegee's defense will get the benefit of this penalty call.
Pushing the runner toward the sideline was Josh Posey, a name we haven't called very much this season for the Golden Tigers. But to your point now, people getting out there in that field that will have an opportunity to show themselves to this coaching staff. That will push the Hornets back near midfield. Charles Davis, middle linebacker for Tuskegee. Haven't called his name much this afternoon, but he came into this ball game leading the Golden Tigers in tackles in the season. He really elevated his play throughout the course of the season. On the ground, a ball fake down, this time by Keys. Keys steps up, feels the pressure. He'll run it himself, slides back to the left, looking for a block at the corner. He'll work it toward the sideline, nicely read by him. He'll run out of bounds near the 30-yard line and picks up that Hornets first down as a result. They got that penalty right back on the long run by Keys. Good recognition as he weaved in and out of that Golden Tiger defense.
That wasn't where the play was designed to go. It was designed to go inside. Keys saw what he liked more favorable to the outside, took it to the far hash mark, got to the sideline, just used speed to pick up that first down.
Football at the 30-yard line, resting at the left hash mark as the Hornets go left to right on your listening device. And we're down to 6:53 remaining in the third. On a misdirection, they'll come right side, short side of the field with the football. Spinning out of the tackle at the sideline and crushed out of bounds near the 20-yard line. On that carry for the Hornets is Jalen Jones. Jones was not listed on the Hornet program early in this football game as wearing 0. And the number we had for 0 was the linebacker, Rico Dozier. So we gave Dozier a couple of credits for some touchdown runs that really should have gone to Jalen Jones. Just so that the record is clear on that, it's Jones with those 2 touchdown runs in the first half for the Hornets.
Speaking of zeros, Noah Holton for Tuskegee got a shot in right on the sideline. Very fortunate for him that he didn't get a flag called.
Second down play after a pickup of 8. Working down the line and stretching that play toward the sideline. Mays on that stop for Tuskegee.
Terrence Mays has had an excellent season. We've seen from time to time from his nose position how much he can just be dominant.
Dominated that play from the line. Harris trying to find the sideline, and Mays showed him the turf instead. Lost him a yard on that play, so that'll bring up third down.
Mays is out of Detroit. I'm sure he's a Lions fan and happy with his hometown team.
Gotta be, yeah. That's a franchise that's really gone through some evolution the last few years and has really shown some commitment to become a strong team.
Well, you have a head coach in his first press conference talking about biting people's knees off. You know you got something scary in store.
Sure. That'll definitely get you started. Timeout on the field comes with 5:14 remaining in this third. And to your point, Mark, as we talk about the 5:14 mark, that is exactly what the Hornets have done with this offense now. They've tried to keep it in between the tackles and just to run clock in this third period of play. And when they've had to go outside or up top, they've done it once or twice.
Now, with it, again, to that point, with a 28-6 score, I'm going to keep a close eye on this scoreboard to see if, in fact, they go to a 10-minute fourth quarter. Both teams can agree if they want to shorten that quarter, being that it's the last game of the year, it's Thanksgiving Day, it's getting late, the sun has gone down, and people may be getting a little antsy to get with their families. Wouldn't be surprised if that adjustment is made to the clock.
We will keep an eye on it, just as I am keeping an eye on the vendor to our right that has the catfish and shrimp. See if he closes up things early.
Well, as unaccustomed as I'm to doing play-by-play, if you by any chance vacate, I will give it my best effort.
Your best effort, right? Okay. Noted, right? We're live from the Turkey Day Classic here at Alabama State University. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State.
The 100th Turkey Day Classic, and it makes you think, out of all of college football, not just HBCU football, how many contests can date back 100 years in terms of that type of consistency and longevity?
Indeed. Yeah, really talk about this. This is obviously not the 100th time that Tuskegee's played in the Classic, because there have been some other schools that were part of this. But we also celebrated a marker at Tuskegee with the 100th homecoming at Tuskegee this year. We're fortunate enough to come into this one here at Alabama State University with the 100th Turkey Day Classic. And all of these classics were played here in Montgomery as well. There were times when they were played on varying campuses, but it's still a 100-year history that not very many classics or any other competitions can say they've been around that long.
How long has the Orange Blossom Classic been around? Where are they at right now? Because that's got to be one of the older classics. Bayou Classic, isn't that being played tomorrow?
I think the Classic Bayou is tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, I think the Florida Classic now is the Orange plus the Orange Blossom, I believe. But that one's not, it's been around not as long as this one, probably 70 plus, yeah. But this is noted as the longest in terms of classics, certainly for HBCUs. You know, we covered that Morehouse Tuskegee Classic, and we had rolling conversation because that's how they build theirs, as the granddaddy of them all. But that's branding. That's not necessarily counting the years.
Correct.
This classic that you can point to that has the longest history, certainly amongst HBCUs. So field goal attempt here by the special teams player of the week, who hit 4 or 5 field goals last weekend for the Hornets. This time from 41 yards away, Gillum with the kick. No question about the strength of the leg, and no question about the accuracy as well. With 4:30 remaining here in the third period, the Hornets settle for a field goal as they run a lot of time off the clock, and they extend their lead now to 31-6 over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Take a break here on the GTSN.
Hey,
Hey,
what are you doing?
just marking off this area here with cones so we can repair the storm damage.
Why?
So no one gets near the down power lines.
Why?
Because down power lines can be dangerous if you touch them. But it's okay. That's what we're here for.
Why?
To keep you safe, so you can walk Fido there.
Her name is Princess Buttercup.
Buttercup, okay.
Back live here at ASU Football Stadium at Alabama State University. The Hornets score on a 41-yard field goal to extend their lead to 31-6. And we do it all the time, Mark, as it relates to our broadcast, where we highlight our sponsors and show them on screen for their support of GTSN and Tuskegee Athletics, but we don't do it enough from the booth. just to say a special thanks to our roster of sponsors who've been with us all season long. Glad to have you as a part of our roster of support, and we'll carry that into Tuskegee basketball and to the spring sports as well. We're live from Turkey Day Classic here in Montgomery, Alabama. Tuskegee trailing at 31-6. Our final football broadcast of the 2024 season. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee obviously disappointed overall about the finish for the season, with a window, small chance to participate in the championship ball game in the SIAC. Needed some things to go right the last couple of weeks of the season, but they did not, and they were really kind of bumped out of contention for that. And then when they got to homecoming with Miles College, a packed facility at Abbott Stadium, anticipating or hoping to give that homecoming crowd a win, not able to do that. So we culminate here over in Montgomery with the Classic today.
Well, I'm not one to second guess schedulers, but usually for homecoming, you don't schedule the best team in the conference. And so losing to Miles for homecoming is nothing to be ashamed of, because a lot of teams lost to Miles this year. The thing that you also look at in terms of this game, we talked about it earlier, Tuskegee's got to think about how can we condense the season next year, because to start the season so early and to wind up late with this huge, almost a 3-week break in between games, Tuskegee may consider starting their season, if they continue this game, starting after Labor Day instead of before Labor Day.
Nice call, because that is a long season. That was a big concern for Coach James at the end of the season. Getting ready for this Classic was just at the time gap between when they finished playing and now. It's a tremendous hurdle to overcome.
Well, it's not to make excuses, but we're talking about the modern athlete. They have a lot of things that are distractions, so to leave them on their own for that long a period of time, how do you maintain focus?
Absolutely. Gillum to kick it for the Hornets after the field goal. This one will come down. It'll be Mason Hall on the return again. Hall up the gut this time, got it past the 30 up to the 31-yard line for Tuskegee on the return.
It's almost as if you can see his eyes light up from here, because he was extremely decisive. Once he saw the middle of the field, some space, he didn't waste any time going to full speed right up the hash mark to see if he could carve out enough to get to midfield.
Just to get there, you're right. I saw it, went right to it. Reminder that GTSN is back on coverage on Monday night from Chappie James Arena, the women's basketball. Coach Wester and the Golden Tigers will be hosting the Lady Panthers of Clark Atlanta, just in single game action at 5:30. We'll be there for that. Congratulations to Coach Wester and the Golden Rams, now 2-2 on the season, knocking off a couple of non-conference opponents. On the ground, Mulba looks for space right side. Zena denied. May not get that one back to the line of scrimmage, about a yard shy of the initial marker.
We talked about Alabama State keeping the ball on the ground with the difficulty that Raekwon Beal has had deciphering the secondary of Alabama State. Wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more Wildcat down the stretch of this game.
Sure. And actually what we're seeing is Malik Davis, the grad student at quarterback, coming in to call a couple of signals now for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. He'll line up, 2 backs beside him. He sets in the pistol. They bring Garmin in motion to the right side. Snap. In the pocket. Davis feels the pressure now. Tucks and runs himself. Gets banged near the 37-yard line and pushed back near the 36.
That was a lot of work for a 2-yard gain.
A pretty hard hit at the back of it as well. We're down to 3:18 and clock running here in the third period. But you make the reference with regard to some of your thoughts about recruiting for Tuskegee and what some of the areas that obviously they need to pay attention to with the ends, but a lot of other spaces too, particularly quarterback for Tuskegee as they look at going into next year. As Davis, folks, one got a man behind the coverage, but turning and twisting and not able to get to that pass was Kenneth KJ Law for Tuskegee.
Law had turned inside. The pass was thrown outside. He was trying to adjust his footwork to get there and just got a little tangled up. right at the 40-yard line. But you talk about what Tuskegee may be looking for, Charles. I always go to complement their offensive line. You want to think about finding the biggest block out the sun tight end that you can find that can be a weapon when you go against teams like Alabama State, like Miles, that can really load up on their defensive end positions.
Ryan's to punt it away for Tuskegee. And they got in on that one. They got a block on it. Came right up the middle, and they blocked the punt. It's down at the 43-yard line, back at the 45. So the Hornets will have excellent position as they got inside. Saw the lane, went right through it, and got the block on Ryan's punt.
Tuskegee has always had success with locating skill players. Linebackers have been their strength historically. What Tuskegee lacks from time to time, like a lot of HBCUs, this is nothing unique.
Sure.
You've got to have quality depth on both of your interior lines. It's not that deep. You can load up and go 2 deep, sometimes even 3 deep up front. You find yourself in a lot better shape when you get down to the third part of the season, that lower third.
As Keys and the Hornets line up now from the 45-yard line of Tuskegee. Keys, ball fake, looking upfield now, slides to his right. Got a man out here. It's a check down. Catch made by Jones at the sideline. He'll slide back to the middle, turn in over end, but he's inside of the 25-yard line down at the 24 for the Hornets.
Nice to see Tuskegee still hitting hard, though. That last tackle on the corner made by Charles Davis almost turned the running back completely over on impact.
And you see that check down all the way for the Hornets on that one. They just had Jones just sitting out there. The Keys did not see anything downfield, finally checked it down, but Tuskegee able, like you said, to keep it in front of him. But it's after the first down pickup at the 24 for the Hornets. Ball fake, and they keep it on the ground. Kinsey looks for space. If there's one bright spot for Tuskegee, they have kept Kinsey in check from that running back spot for the Hornets of Alabama State this football game.
So here's another observation, Charles. Nicholas Harris, the offensive lineman for Alabama State, was 10 yards downfield trying to throw a block on that play. If you can get a near 300-pounder to move out that far downfield on a running play, you're in great shape.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see come film time, no question about it. Keys. Ball fake again. Rolls right side. Got a man floating behind the defense, but Keys shoots it too far on the intended pass.
Keys are working against Rossi Grimes. Got a little bit tangled up right there. Grimes is on that side of the field along with Malik Moore in coverage. Those are two very difficult players to throw against.
Yeah, you surveyed that last play, though, as Keys was rolling right side and that Grimes was holding the receiver tight there at the line. Keys floated that pass downfield past the receiver, but a shorter pass and likely a reception there for the Hornets. Instead, it's third down now. Keys in the drop. Feels the pressure. He'll try to run. Bad decision by him. Wrapped up by the Golden Tigers at the front line. Good defensive work up front there by DeMarcus Wynn, the freshman from Birmingham for Tuskegee. Name we have not called much this season, but Wynn able to get in there on that play for the Golden Tigers.
Nice to see a few players on Tuskegee's defense give each other flying high fives on that last play. They're still playing with enthusiasm.
Indeed. Some of these players that don't play very much, happy to get the name and stats, and a good play there by Wynn to deny that for the Hornets. They'll come with Gillum instead. He hit from 41 his last time up. This will be a 42-yard effort. He could have hit it another 20 on that one as he knocked that one through for the Hornets of Alabama State. So with 34 seconds left, back-to-back field goals by the Hornets extend their lead down to 34-6 over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Timeout on the football field will step out on GTSN as well.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines protects you and your family from disease. Protect yourself and others by making sure you're up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait, vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
I love the lake. It's like one of the few places I can just let go and be myself. I really love it here.
Hornets on the kick after the field goal. Gillum pushes that one into the end zone, so Tuskegee will come out from a home 25-yard line, and they'll come out with 34 seconds left in the third.
I'm going to give out another gold star, honorary gold star to
You still got some, huh?
Oh, yeah, I still got 5 or 10 more. The Golden Pipers marching band of Tuskegee just cranked it up during the third quarter break. They have shown up in full force, did an excellent job at halftime, competing again against a larger ASU band, but holding their own at halftime.
Yeah, Pipers do that, no question about it. Also, if I can borrow one of your gold stars, Bill back in there. They'll go on the ground this time. On the carry is Mason Hall. He got it past the 30 up to the 31. Certainly have to give golden stars to the Tuskegee loyalists and fans who are here on Thanksgiving Day in Montgomery for the Turkey Day Classic. Tuskegee, one of the premier HBCUs as it relates to fan support at home and on the road.
Tuskegee does travel well.
Bill on a 2nd down and 4. Officials step in, and that was our final play of the third period here at the Turkey Day Classic. So they'll flip ends of the field. Get set to start the fourth quarter here from the 100th Turkey Day Classic from Montgomery, Alabama. Back after a timeout on GTSN.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
I love the lake. It's like one of the few places I can just let go and be myself. I really love it here.
We are back live here at the ASU Football Stadium, Alabama State University, Montgomery, Alabama. 100th Turkey Day Classic. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee and the Hornets of Alabama State University. As we head into the fourth, it's the Hornets of Alabama State with a 34-6 lead over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. And Mark, as we take a look at the stats at the end of the third period, 36 plays for the Hornets of Alabama State, 398 yards, 49 plays for Tuskegee, 214 total yards.
You know I don't like math, so I'm going to keep it really simple. Tuskegee's had the football for 10 more minutes than Alabama State. I'm going to keep it real simple. 15 minutes on this ball game. They did throw up to 15, so we're not going to an abbreviated fourth quarter, and we're going to play this one out.
Yep. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee on the ground, 137 yards, and in the air, 77 over the course of these 3 periods of football. 134 yards on the ground for the Hornets. And the Hornets in the air, 264 yards. And a lot of that, as you referenced, that time of possession. Just the quick scores by the Hornets in this ball game just gave them that early lead. And Tuskegee, a couple of hard charges at it, stalled drives on the Hornet end of the football field. Then a couple of interceptions thrown in there, really just thwarted any kind of effort by Tuskegee to really get fully back into this football game.
So I'm going to make a wish. And if I could have one wish, I would wish that every player on this Tuskegee football team, and even Alabama State, let's throw them in there too. I would wish that every player after this football game has someplace welcoming to go where they can enjoy the rest of this holiday afternoon. I know some players are going to be with family, some players are going to be with friends, but I would bet you there are some players that may not have either. And I would hate to think that there would be any player on either one of these squads that has sacrificed all season and has sacrificed to play this game on a national holiday, if you will, that they would not have somebody reach out to them and welcome them into their homes for the rest of the evening.
Nice call. And, we were talking about it from Tuskegee's perspective mostly, but it's the same with Alabama State to a large degree. They really don't have anything to play for in this ball game other than the issue of pride. They finished less than where they had hoped in the SWAC overall, and no chance for postseason play for them. So it's a pride issue for them to show up and play here. But of course, it's their home venue, but it's still the same thing for these kids nonetheless.
Well, the advantage for Alabama State, you're in Montgomery, which is a major city. You can get back to campus, go to the bus station if you're so enabled to, go to the airport. When you go back to Tuskegee, you still have a ways to go just to get back out to 85.
You have to go to Tuskegee and come back to Montgomery. Right?
Exactly.
This entire region, though, a work in progress. And at some point, they anticipate seeing that there's going to be more lockage between Tuskegee and the area surrounding it, Montgomery and Auburn in particular. Fourth quarter action.
Hopefully with that lockage, as you mentioned, there'll be more transportation issues for students and players that need to commute or get from point A to B off campus a lot easier if you don't have a car of your own.
Sure. A lot of things on the drawing board to address some of those issues. Tuskegee with the football at their own 36-yard line. They go Wildcat. They'll run this one as Morris looks for room right side. Changed his mind about that. Now the defense forces him to change his mind, and he's going to be pulled down back inside of the 30. A big loss there for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee as Johnny was trying to find some space on that run.
The only problem with that is when he saw the spot where the play was designed to go, he actually stopped.
Sure.
Came to a space for about a second. He was looking inside where the hole was supposed to be, and during that time where he paused, Alabama State simply closed behind the line of scrimmage and stopped that play for about a 5-yard loss.
And to your point, this squad out of the SWAC, sometimes a lot quicker on recognition, and they recognized that right away and got there real quick. Snap as Bill's back on the surface now. Here comes pressure. They're trying to set a screen, threw that one high, and Pregame fortunately able to go up and catch that football. Got some positive yards on it. They're going to bring up about a 3rd and 7 after the catch by Pregame, his first grab of the ball game.
Fortunate for Bill that Pregame came back for the football. Pregame was actually 5 yards deeper, saw that his quarterback was in trouble and started working back towards him, which was a very intelligent move for a receiver in that situation. Fortunately, Tuskegee got some positive yards out of that play. Could have been a lot worse.
3rd down now and about 8 for Tuskegee. Snap to Bill in the pocket toward the sideline. In and out of the hands, trying to get it at the sidelines to Law. I'm not sure if that one was blocked or a good defensive work there by the Hornets secondary, or it just went through the hands of Law at the sideline.
That was Denzel Johnson, linebacker for Alabama State, just in extremely tight coverage. It was very close. Any tighter, he would have been inside his uniform jersey. But as it stands, the coverage in past games for Alabama State has been outstanding.
Yeah, they were right on top of Law at the sideline. You're right on that coverage by Johnson. Ryan's on now to punt it away for Tuskegee. We're at got 12:08 left in this football game, a timeout on the field. I think the Golden Tigers took it. Took a 30-second here. We'll stay with this one as Tuskegee huddles at the sideline. Ryan's out there counting the number of players. Not sure if they had enough out there.
They did not. And you can see two of the Tuskegee coaches that were about 5 yards on the field from the sideline, turning back to the sideline, gave me the indication that one or two players were not where they were supposed to be on special teams or were getting out too late and forced the coaches to call that timeout.
Yeah, you get at this point in the ball game where things are a little bit hopeless on the scoreboard at this point. Sometimes attention of fans can get diverted at that sideline for people to get back out on the field at the right time, particularly on change of a punt attempt here by Tuskegee. So Tuskegee now, after the timeout, set to punt the football. Robert McMinn set to return it. Ryan's high kick. McMinn's going to have a return on this. No, he'll let it bounce instead, but it bounces right to him in his tracks. He'll catch it. Tuskegee squeezes him down initially at the 26-yard line, but we'll see where they finally mark it.
Difficulty for McMinn as he's thinking about fielding that ball. When it hit the turf, it almost hit him.
Yeah.
And he caught him a little bit off guard. As Tuskegee's coming down in coverage, he decided, okay, I better field this just in case it did touch me. And by the time he fielded the football, Tuskegee had closed enough to make a tackle for no gain.
Sure. I think his true intent was, I just want to back out of here. I'm just going to let it bounce. But the ball just bounced right into his chest.
Exactly.
Well, I got to do something now, right?
Exactly.
So they'll mark him down at the 24 after the punt. And the Hornets will see if they finally start bringing in some different personnel they have in terms of running back spots. We'll see if they do anything with Keys at quarterback or just what decisions are made for them in personnel as we come to the 11:53 remaining.
So if you were a coach for Tuskegee and you were looking at position groups, where would you look?
Well, we talked a little bit about it in terms of just a few moments ago. You got to really be thinking about that quarterback spot. I don't think anything was settled. They went into the season talking about a 2-platoon between Robertson, Christopher, and Raekwon Bill. At the end of the day, Bill won that out and he got most of the snaps. But you start looking at the production from that position overall, I think you got to really have a question mark in terms of where you go from there with quarterback coming into next season. Particularly given that Bill's going to be a senior next year. Got a couple of players on that roster at quarterback that did not get enough snaps to really have a genuine assessment about them long-term play. But if you're looking for a prototype in terms of quarterback, you want one that's got a combination of throwing ability and ability to run the football, which I just honestly did not have in Raekwon at quarterback. So I think that's one spot for sure. And you reference the linebacking core; they are traditionally strong. Defensive secondary, perhaps an area where it's a little bit more certainly Michael King's going to be coming out of that. And you're going to have to really look at how you build that secondary, just given the way some of the numbers just played out for that secondary during the course of the year. For Tuskegee, King, of course, with another year, but he's going to really have to have a complement of players in that secondary to really take Tuskegee from where they were defensively this year to where they need to be in 10 more.
So do you think, and this may be a little bit of a reach, but I'll state it anyway, do you think Michael King has any eyes on the next level as a junior, or do you think he comes back for a senior year?
I would think that he would come back. I mean, I think there were so many. One, he was injured for a little while this year. And on top of that, the offenses were dead set on, we're not going to let Michael King impact this football game, so we're going to stay away from him, just like they wanted to stay away from Malik Moore during the course of the season, just as a strategy. That allows his numbers to stand down a little bit more, and then when you start talking about the next level, you just really got to have the numbers to support it, although he was named All-SIAC for his work this year. This is Kinsey on the ground again for the Hornets. And he'll run it up near the 28-yard line.
If Alabama State runs anything outside the hash marks, I will be shocked.
They have the ball control has been the definition for the inside the marks.
Just for our listeners, the ball is literally in the center of the field. There are equal amount of space between two hash marks. The entire offense is between the hash marks.
You couldn't place it any closer to the middle of the field.
Second run inside the hash mark.
Absolutely, just trying to keep it straight ahead.
Nothing fancy. Mama's got the Thanksgiving gravy warmed up.
Reheated at this point. Reference temperatures dropping just a little bit here. All in all, it's been a good day for this Turkey Day Classic here in Montgomery.
Much better day than expected.
No doubt about it. Well, we got a lull in the action with 10:41 remaining in this football contest. Chance for us to, as Keys rolls right side on the decoy, now got it out there in space with the catch at the sideline with one man to beat, tiptoeing the sideline, and that's going to be another touchdown. This one by A.J. Gates, but he got caught. Tuskegee ran him down. Gates not able to finish that play off, but he's down near the 5-yard line. Had them beat on the angle, but Tuskegee covered that angle, and they got Gates before he was able to get in the end zone down at the 4.
Just when I thought Alabama State was going to keep everything inside, they hit that short pattern out of the backfield to the running back once again. They get a block on the corner, and the running back does the rest down the sideline. As you mentioned, appeared to be a clear touchdown, but Malik Moore for Tuskegee showing why he's all SIAC. It's not just talent, it's effort. Malik Moore makes the tackle inside the 5-yard line at the 3, preventing that last score for Alabama State.
Or first team all SIAC back-to-back for him. A senior for Tuskegee. You talk about player perhaps at the next level. I'm sure Malik's already gotten a couple of eyebrows looked at him already in terms of his play, what he does at the next level.
Well, Malik's out of Tallahassee. I'm wondering how he got out of the grasp of the mighty Rattlers.
They're probably wondering the same thing, too. So timeout on the field with 9:42 remaining. We'll stay here for the break here on GTSN. It's been a portion of this break just thanking our production crew today working remote. Marcus Burnett, Lisa Burnett, always so steady for us during the course of this football season. When we're on the road, mixing in a little bit of video as well as maintaining audio, and then we're at home. You've seen the product that they produce as it relates to GTSN's coverage of home football games. I'm so thankful for them for being a part of our effort to push GTSN out there. And so thankful to the alumni chapters who just weighed in throughout the course of the season about what they've seen and what they like about GTSN and how it represents that TU brand. And just trying to make this a complete effort in terms of everybody being a part of it, to push it forward as a part of just the fabric of covering Tuskegee athletics. On the ground, left side, Tuskegee trying to defend against the Hornets as they try to push in another score.
I get the sense that Alabama State on that last big play, it wasn't necessarily trying to score, but there was so much space to the far sideline. You can't give a running back that kind of daylight. He's not going to try to take it to the house.
And Kinsey has not scored for them this afternoon, so you know they are going to try to get it in his hands and see if they can't get him in. He'll try this one on the left side again, and Tuskegee denies him down at the 1-yard line. So that will make it 3rd down for the Hornets.
Mass substitutions for Tuskegee. At least 4 new players into the lineup on defense for this goal line stand as Alabama State's lined up at the 1-yard line.
We'll see if they try to go to Kinsey to get him the score for the Hornets. And, you know, he's carried such a load for them throughout the course of the year. Last ball game of the season, they're going to try to at least get him into that end zone. He's going to line up behind Keys, and the Hornets will take a timeout. Awkward formation that they had there with Kinsey lining up about 4 or 5 yards behind Keys, who appeared to be going up under center on that play. But before they do that, they took a timeout. They take it with 8:05 remaining, and the Hornets leading it 34-6 over the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Let's take a break here on GTSN.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah.
Back live here at ASU Football Stadium, the campus of Alabama State University. Players making it back there real quick after that timeout. I know we're headed into a break, but didn't want you to miss anything here with 8:05 and this goal line stand by the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. 3rd and goal for the Hornets. Tuskegee still trying to slide players in and out of there quickly on the line. Kinsey slides back to the right and denied the end zone by the Golden Tigers defensively down at the 1-yard line.
Right before that ball was snapped, there was a second set of substitutions for
Sure.
Tuskegee out of the timeout. I don't understand how they did the same thing on the previous play, come back on the field, and they're still subbing people out of the timeout.
Yeah. Right up to the end of that play, you get the sense that it was almost intentional to some degree because it happened so late into the development of it. They were scrambling players out there just before the snap. On a 4th and goal to go now. This will have to be Kinsey's carry here. They got him down that far in terms of trying to get him the football. They'll get it to him. Left side, forces his way.
He didn't get it.
Did not get there. Got him out there at about the half-yard outside. So they went 4 times to Kinsey to get him a touchdown. And Tuskegee denies the Hornets down on that 1st and goal to go. And the offense back out there.
There seems to be a bit of a delay on the field with the officials on the spot of the football. They haven't given officials a signal, but illegal motion against Alabama State on that previous play, which Tuskegee will decline, so they'll take over the football inside their own 1-yard line.
How about that for a character statement near the end of this football game? Just did not allow the Hornets to get into the end zone with 7:18 remaining.
Let's give gold stars, a collective gold star, to the Tuskegee defense for that last stand. 4 shots at the end zone, holding Alabama State out. Incredible stand.
Indeed, it was. It was clear what the Hornets were going to do. They wanted to get that touchdown for Kinsey, their star running back. And they went to him again. And every time, Tuskegee with an answer at the front door, denying him entry into that end zone. So stars all around for that defense of Tuskegee.
Now here's where it gets interesting for the Golden Tigers. You have the ball inside your 1. I'd say they're about at the 2-foot mark. What do you call here? Do you try to continue running football up the middle, or do you have the courage to try something fancy this deep in your own territory?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Just outside of the end zone. You want to get some space to be able to run your offense to a large degree. But you can't allow just any softness on that front line to get that surge from the Hornets to get you pinned in the end zone for safety.
Well, it's almost, I say almost, it is the point of the field where Tuskegee does not run a lot of offense with the quarterback under center. The quarterback will take this snap. If their quarterback comes out in the traditional pistol formation, he will be standing right on the A of Bama in the end zone.
That's right. Because if they had conversations about this for years and years, that even in a situation like that where you don't put the quarterback on the center, you're yielding so much real estate and just inviting the opportunity for a safety by virtue of you just not being as right at the point of attack that you should be to start that play.
Well, here's the other part about this, Charles. You know that the Alabama State defensive backs are going to be thinking interception all the way. If Beal or whoever is that quarterback is throwing off anything but a 3-step drop, those safeties and cornerbacks are going to be taking risks. They're going to say, okay, we don't care if you go big against us. We're going to cut these routes off and be very aggressive in our technique.
Sure. Sure, and I think they're walking away with an additional level of confidence too. Is that we have not seen you burn us all game long, so we can definitely step in and take away a lane.
This is very curious to me from a strategic standpoint, Charles. So notice the Tuskegee offensive linemen. They're
planning as you reference, and in near that A in the end zone is Bill. They'll bring in the two tights now to get more pressure at the line, and the pursuit at the line. Tuskegee barely getting that thing out of the end zone as a flag comes in at the back of the play. That may give them some breathing room if that's against the Hornets of Alabama State.
Based on their body language, it appears that it may be against Alabama State. It was a little bit of extra tussling after that last play, and it is.
Sure. Now the
okay, hands to the face against Alabama State. So Tuskegee gets the ball all the way out to the 16-yard line.
And now you just got to pin yourself back as the offense of Tuskegee and go for broke. 7:05 left. Bill already thrown 2 picks in this football game. Like to see him balance some of that off with a touchdown strike here, driving his team down the field. They'll keep it on the ground instead. Right side, and the pack moving kind of sideways there. Rouser on that carry for Tuskegee. And he got about 3 on that play.
Tuskegee, very deliberate between plays now. We've seen them go up tempo. Now they're going down tempo in between plays. They're probably going to be thinking about running as much clock. They're not in any hurry to get these plays off.
Yeah, seemingly to say we don't want to commit any more turnovers ourselves and see what we can just do on the ground. They do so on the ground, right side, and taking a play out of the Hornets playbook, which is trying to take the air out of the football, if you will, just to keep the clock running here inside ASU Stadium.
Now, this is a curious call for Tuskegee. You bring up this 3rd and about 4. You're deeper in your own territory. You've had little success in the middle of the field running. They've got to be thinking, can we get to the edge with something to try to pick up this first down?
Yeah, because if you don't, you really, like you referenced, you're going to give it back over to Alabama State. And then you're just going to put your defense back out there a little bit quicker than you wanted to.
No backs in the backfield.
Bill, alone in the pistol. Here comes the pressure, throws it to the tight end, and another drop there. Tuskegee just not able to hang on to the football from the receiving corps. Johnny Gilbert, you referenced the tight end crew for Tuskegee with Gilbert, Gregory King, and Gabriel Shell. It's tough from that group. You don't have a total of 10 catches from that group throughout the entire season for Tuskegee.
It's got to be deflating to the coaches and players of Tuskegee to have a player wide open on a down that you had to have in space, no one within 10 yards of him, the ball thrown right in his hands. He simply doesn't make the catch. Wide open.
Yeah, he was not a target a lot during the course of the season, but as Ryan gets a lofty kick here, and on the return, McMinn got some space left side. Now I'm trying to turn the corner for the Hornets. Ryan's with another tackle in special teams for Tuskegee, and that spells bad news, and Larkin's got to be all the way down at the back of that to make the tackle for you.
Anytime you're forcing your punter to make tackles downfield, it's just a sign that your special teams work is lacking. Ryan's puts his head down, uncharacteristic, really pretty good form for a kicker. But time and time again, we've seen these breakdowns, at least this afternoon, on special teams, and I can only say it's just breakdowns in effort.
Absolutely. Yeah, never know how much of a factor the time off was, but it just Tuskegee just not able to have a sustained rhythm throughout this football game. Had a couple of drives offensively that they looked good on. They carried the football down the field, but just not able to capitalize and close on those. All they got today was the 2 field goals out of Ryan. broke his season record with a 48-yarder today. But Tuskegee just not able to really contend with the Hornets of Alabama State here in this Turkey Day Classic.
So with less than 5 minutes remaining, 4:58 to be exact, most of the Alabama State faithful have headed to the exits. People on the Tuskegee side are hanging in there.
Yeah, I got to make that run right back up 85 to Tuskegee. After a disappointing showing here in this Turkey Day Classic, trying to close the season, Tuskegee was, with breaking that long losing streak. Lost to Clark Atlanta, then they lost to Miles to close the regular season. We're hoping they could get some momentum into the offseason with a win here against a SWAC opponent in the Hornets of Alabama State University, but not to be today. The Hornets just really came in, and like you said, they played last week, so they still have their playing rhythm, and they just jumped out early on Tuskegee and never looked back.
They just picked up where they left off. Did some fine-tuning to their offense. They had a decent running game last week. Didn't score many points, but whatever they did during the off week, it was enough to put Tuskegee away early. This game was out of reach by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they already had 21 at that point and got it up to 28, and then the celebration violation took 7 off the board, but it came right back, and after that put them right back on the scoreboard. And every time Tuskegee had the chance with those back-to-back field goals, chances at touchdowns on those drives, but they had to settle for the field goals, and every time they got a field goal, the Hornets came right back and scored again.
But there is good news. There is no line at the shrimp and catfish truck.
That's the good news, right? You just don't want to see the lights go off over there.
Once the lights goes off,
you're done. Right?
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
The light is still on. There are a few people hovering around the front of it. The shrimp and catfish food truck is right behind the end zone to our right. Alabama State Stadium is really carved out quite well from a landscaping standpoint. They have plenty of space around the stadium for vendors, for people to walk around the stadium. It's really a well-done architectural piece.
Indeed, you're right. We were talking about it at halftime that the design of this stadium was premised on some visits from the folks in Alabama State to places that have better venues, because even up here on the media level, this thing is just fantastic in terms of how it's laid out. You get the sense there's so much space up here that they designed this after modeling or seeing some of them out there that emulate pro media sites and stadiums overall.
Excellent point. Somebody might have taken a trip to Auburn or places close by that play in the SEC to say, okay, what is their setup and how can we duplicate that?
Yes, this has got to be absolutely one of the best HBCU facilities in the country, certainly from a media perspective, and we've been around for a while. And this one is, as you talked about, it's just so cavernous up here in terms of the space that everybody's got their own little area. We're in a closed booth, and we've had situations where we've been in the open area of media facilities throughout the course of the season. On the ground, Hornets with the football. They've gone to a couple of different players. A new quarterback in there now. Jevius Langford. He's a junior from Montgomery, Alabama. So hopefully turkey and Thanksgiving Day dinner are waiting for him as they close up their season.
Alabama State running very deliberately in between plays now. They've got to feel that this game is comfortably over.
Yeah, they'll go shotgun. Langford again. We're at 3:42 left in the football game. And he'll keep it himself. Spun around as he got it inside of the 35 down to the 34-yard line.
Spun around and got tagged in the back of the helmet by Tuskegee as he's spinning right at about the 35-yard line. Had his head turned. Tuskegee, seeing an open target, was not giving him any benefit of the doubt. Really got a solid hit on him.
Caleb Burrell, the name you called early on in this ballgame, we didn't call him much during the season, but he's the one that made that contact on Langford to spin him around. So we're under 3 minutes remaining. Quick reminder that we've got women's basketball on Monday from Chappie James. I think I misspoke. I gave you the record for the Golden Tigers. They are 3-2 early part of the season as the Hornets punt the football away. This one will bounce and roll forward. And Tuskegee will take it over from their own 17-yard line. So the Golden Tigers this season, second year under head coach Aaron James, we're hoping this would be the ball game to get them over the 50% win mark for the season. Came in at 5-5. And Coach James and the Tigers of Tuskegee going to finish this season at 5-6 overall.
That's a tall order coming against head coach Eddie Robinson, who is a no-nonsense coach for Alabama State. He understands the assignment, knows he wanted to finish strong at home.
Robinson in his third year with the Hornets. A pass there underthrown, trying to get it out into the hands. Just trying to get it out there to Rozier. Davis in there, that quarterback, and just underthrew Rouser there near would have been about the 15-yard line. That was behind the line of scrimmage in terms of where the catch would have taken place. So Davis in there finishing up for Tuskegee at quarterback. He'll take the snap on a delayed handoff. And Rouser will roll it right side at the 23-yard line on the carry by Rouser.
Nothing fancy for Tuskegee. It looked like one of their interior receivers was lined up off sides, but we're at that point of the game. It doesn't matter.
He could be 20 yards down the field. Don't touch anybody, you're all right.
No harm, no foul.
2:05 remains. Chance for us to thank you out there at GTSN for watching or listening to our coverage today and being with us all season long. We've got another timeout taken. That's at the 2-minute mark as we come to the final 2 minutes of this fourth quarter. And Tuskegee trailing at 34-6 to the Hornets of Alabama State. Let's take our final timeout on the broadcast.
Be the you you've always wanted to be. Wind Creek Casino. It's your kind of fabulous.
Hey, Tuskegee fans, I'm Reginald Ruffin, Director of Athletics, and you are listening to the Golden Tiger Sports Network. Gold to you.
Probably needed A.D. Ruffin in a uniform this afternoon, promoting GTSN on air. Keeps boasting about his days as a linebacker. Could have used some of his skills this afternoon.
Where did that A.D. Ruffin play?
Oh, was it West Alabama?
Okay.
I think it was West or North Alabama, one or the other. I think it was West.
You can always tell those linebackers by the way they walk. They just seem, they walk in a room, it's like they own the place. Their shoulders are always hunched up, you know?
Yeah, just looking for somebody to just smash, right?
Looking for trouble. But you know, the thing, you talk about the football season, Charles, no matter when we start, it always seems to go too fast. Here we are, Thanksgiving Day, and it feels like the Grambling game was just last week.
Sure. I was just talking to Coach Smith about that when we got to the hotel last night. It's like, and he's the one that's in charge of logistics in terms of hotels and the like. And I said, it just seems like we just took our first trip, right?
Sure.
Like, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, it does go by fast, no question about it.
That was my first motorcade with state police. That was quite interesting, making that run from Shreveport to Grambling, doing about 80 miles an hour on the highway, trying to keep up with the team buses.
Yeah, it could be kind of frightening, Kevin.
That was a different experience. I wasn't used to the protocol for that.
Sure. Of course, A.D. Ruffin played at North Alabama, star athlete there for them. Just want to be clear on the record on that one. That was shot high by Davis trying to get it downfield.
You know you'd hear about it
Sure.
if you didn't make that correction.
Just had so much enthusiasm that's carried over from his days as a player into the athletics program at Tuskegee University. Actually got a good shot of him at the 20-yard line on the Tuskegee side of the venue here. Turn our attention to Tuskegee basketball now. Both teams starting out in good shape, both men and women. A lot of early non-conference action for both. But the men on the men's side beat Benedict in their first play of conference play a few days ago. And good start for Coach Taylor and Coach Wester for Tuskegee basketball. Punt by Ryans. This one fumbled at the 47-yard line. A scramble for it there. Tuskegee coming away saying that they have the football.
That's a pleasant turn of events.
Sure. Looks like they will have it. Officials finally point that way and saying TU with the football.
Yeah, that's a nice sign. You see players coming off the field, high-fiving one another for Tuskegee. 1 minute, 42 seconds to go, and their special teams coverage was violent enough to force a fumble. You have to give that special teams unit a gold star for Thanksgiving.
There you go. An endless pack of gold stars we have up here. Kobe Mitchell, one of those players that was in on that Rockets. I believe he came away with that recovery for Tuskegee. Tuskegee trying to get another player out there. Isaiah Malba finally joins the crew out there at a running back. A minute 42 remaining. And now Coach James and the Golden Tigers will be forced to take a timeout. No, it's certainly not something they wanted to do at this point in the ball game, but you don't want an assessment either here to push you farther back. Chance for perhaps Tuskegee can do something here with maybe a game-winning score. So you want to keep that out in front of you. You're already past midfield.
You know, if one thing you have been throughout the season, it's been optimistic. And it's really appreciated. It's really appreciated.
Sure. You want this group to come away with something here.
I just like the fact that they got the recovery on a fumble on special teams that deep in a ball game and then came off the field showing some enthusiasm as a result.
High-fiving. Right. So let's take the next step here. Snap. Davis. He'll tuck. Now thinks about dropping back, and he dropped right back into some coverage and pursuit there by the Hornets for the sack.
He thought too long again. That alarm has got to go off in your head after 3 Mississippis. He was just past 3 when Alabama State was closing. After that, it was too late. There was no one open, and Alabama State is quickly in the backfield. Their closing speed is just too much for Tuskegee's quarterbacks.
Well, you were referencing that in terms of tennis. We both played tennis, and we know that when you stay out of the rhythm for a while, everything that can be stroked is one of the first things to go. At quarterback, it's kind of the same thing. You get out there and you're used to that 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi throw. But when you don't get that much time, playing time like Davis, he was only 7 of 8 coming into today's ball game throwing. So you know his rhythm and timing for that count is likely way off as well.
Well, you know what happens to you is that time speeds up. It doesn't.
Sure.
When you're in a rhythm, it slows down. It's just as the opposite when you have that rust settling in.
Nice call. You're right. 33 seconds remains here in the 2024 Turkey Day Classic from Montgomery, Alabama. Be the 3rd loss in a row for Tuskegee in the Classic. Since rejoining the Classic a few years back. Davis with pressure, and they'll get him again on the sack. He win in the Classic was back in 2021. Here Hornets of Alabama State. 34-6. The Hornets winning over Tuskegee here in the Classic. So they celebrate here on their home field. And Tuskegee, obviously dejected by the way things turned out here in this football game, headed back to the locker rooms and closing out the season with a 5-6 mark as they fall to the Hornets of Alabama State University here in the Classic. Alabama State pushing their ending mark on the season to 7-5 for Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. And they will pack things up for this season as well. Mark, as we pack things up for our broadcast from football in the 2024 season, it's been a great pleasure to work with you up in the booth all season.
It's been a joy to work with you too, Charles, as normal. I couldn't help but noticing at the end of this ball game, most of the Tuskegee players, you normally see a mutual team handshake, but the two teams are very reluctant to share handshakes as a team. Now you see some of the players congregating. I'm sure that there are players that have played together, know one another, but Tuskegee did not want to really join a post-team handshake. And now they're kind of paused at the 20-yard line and just the teams are mingling, we'll say.
Sure. I'm not sure if that wasn't ushered in by the coaching staff to ensure that happened, because you're right. Tuskegee was headed off of the field, and it was almost like a change of mind thing to come back out and do it, and perhaps a mind that was changed not through your own, but the coach is urging him to do it.
Well, sometimes you see that hockey line where the entire units will just go down the line and shake hands as one. But in this case, this is the type of rivalry, and it was such a lopsided game that I'm sure that some of the greetings that may have been exchanged on this Thanksgiving Day may not have been so much on the friendly side. And Tuskegee was saying to Alabama State, you know what? We're going to pass for now and just head to the locker room.
Back later.
Right.
One dimension that may be explaining it to some degree is that you see the Hornets here on our side of the venue getting their fight song from the school, from the band down low, and then on the opposite side, the Piper Band and Tuskegee doing the same thing with their school song. So they may have just been deciding, just like you said, let's bypass all the friendliness after the game. Let's get over here, get this obligation out of the way to do this at the end of the ball game and just get out of here.
I like the way you polished that up.
Sure. I'm here to help.
I like the way you did that. But again, it's been a fun season. We've had some bright moments. We've had some not so bright moments. But again, thanks to everyone who has listened and followed us on GTSN.
No doubt about it. A lot of that quality work you're doing as analysts. That'll do it for our coverage here from the 100 Turkey Day Classic. Golden Tigers of Tuskegee close out the season with a 34-6 loss to the Hornets of Alabama State University. Special thanks to Marcus and Vincent Burdett for our coverage throughout the football season. And special thanks to President Dr. Mark Brown, AD Reginald Ruffin, everybody in the athletics department, and a big thanks to all of you for listening and watching GTSN during the course of the football season. We turn our attention to basketball. We'll start some of that on Monday night from Chappie James. Be sure to join us then. Until then, Charles Ward, on behalf of Mark Lassiter, we're live from the 100 Turkey Day Classic saying thanks so much for watching and listening. This has been a production of GTSN.